It's my mini Bible.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Brother Naquan.
Brother Rai.
Brother, you're done.
Are we back at it with another Monday night fire? Giving, of course, Salakia, all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malaki Rashad. Double honor to the elected elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahweh Shah. A hearty shalom to you mighty men that go out there and do the work of the Most High, presenting your body as a living sacrifice, enduring all things for the elect's sake, pushing this truth and magnifying the ministry. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent. And shalom to the sisters out there who reverence their husbands if they're married. Those sisters that may not be married, they're still keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. They're living in the spirit, and the Lord is abiding in them. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. It's another Monday night fire after a hiatus, right, due to the spirit, but we back at it again. This will be a Q&A, right? We're kicking back off the Monday night fire with a Q&A. So if there are any questions, not about brothers' personal lives, I had a brother ask, how old are you, brother? You know, whether do you like your sweet potatoes cooked this way? Or we're not here to answer that, right? We're here to answer questions strictly about the Bible. Right now, brother, where you live at, brother, you know, if I can pull up, you know, no, any question about the Bible, we're going to answer it, most are willing, and we're going to kick it off in order, right? The first question from Muck the General, Shalom Akim. Could you break down Jude verse 6? So let's dive into it.
This is the book of Jude, chapter 1. I'll start at verse 5. For there are certain men crept in unawares who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men turning the grace of Salakia. Ungodly men turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord God and our Lord Yahweh Mashiach. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not. Where I'm starting at 4 and 5 to get a little bit more context, because Jude is writing his letter, and the majority of the letter is directed towards a lot of Jakes are just wicked, right? He's speaking about wicked Jake, verse 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Right? When Israel brings this out, certain Israelites, when they bring this out, they think it's speaking about angels in the heavens, right? They think it's talking about the seraphims, you know, the cherubim, all them different angels in the heavens, but it's actually referring to Israel, right? And we kept not our first estate. We fell short big time in the eyes of the Lord, right? And as a result of that, we fell into captivity. And there's certain brothers, they fell and they never going to get back up, right? Some brothers are destined to be destroyed. Similar to in the days of Egypt. I'm going to read verse 5 again. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saving the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not. Right? So I got one precept.
I got precept 2 after you.
You got it first. I got to find it.
It's real quick, this First Maccabees 15 and 3. For as much as certain pestilent men have usurped the kingdom of our fathers, and my purpose, right? This is what this brother said. My purpose is to challenge it again, that I may restore it to the old estate, and to that end have gathered a multitude of foreign soldiers together and prepare ships of war. See that? So his job and his purpose was to take Israel, or take them out of their first estate, or take them out of the lifestyle that they were living now, where they fell from, and bring them back to their first estate, right? And we're going to go back to that first estate too. That's what Yahweh said in Matthew chapter 22, 29 on down, that we'll be like the angels in the kingdom of heaven. Right? That's going back to our first estate, being immortal. You understand? Not sinning. All right. The Most High made a man to be immortal, pursuing the wisdom of Solomon 2:23. But we fell from that. You know. I got one more quick precept, Yardan Salaki. This Psalms chapter 82. Right. This is a classic. Psalms chapter 82 and verse 6. It reads, "I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High." So even angels, when you go into that word, or you go into the God in the Hebrew in Genesis, that word God is Elohim, or the powers, right? So angels can be referred to as gods. It's not the Most High God, but they still are referred to as gods, and we're referred to as gods. So the Lord said, "I have said ye are gods," talking about men, "and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes." Just like the brother Yardan went into, Jude said we fell from our first estate. Verse Maccabees 15 and 3 said we're gonna restore it back from our fallen estate. Because we were once gods, but now we fell like men. Right? Just wanted to bring that out.
In that first estate, it's nothing like this estate that we're in now. Now we're in hell. Now we face all types of, tribulations and trials. This is Psalms 107 and 10. Such as sit in darkness in the shadow of death, being bound in affliction and iron, because they rebelled against the word of God and contempt the counsel of the Most High. So now we in the lowest, we was in the lowest state in slavery, and we still in the lowest state, bound let me bring out the precept again. Bound in chains under darkness, even these bodies itself, it's a damn prison. We do stuff that we don't want to do. We're going through all types of hell. But another precept. Yeah, precept arrived. Yeah, that was it on that. I was gonna get.
God, that's it on that. You brought out 2 Peter 2.
Preach to the spirits in prison.
Nah, that 2 Peter 2. All right, let's bring it up.
Can I bring it up?
All right.
It's 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4. For if Yahweh spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. Right? That's plain, man. Right? Hey, the angels don't sin. That's in Sirach, the 39th chapter. Everything is under Yahweh Shai's feet. That's in Hebrews, the 2nd chapter. You understand? Verse 5 on down. Let me get that real fast.
Bring it up.
So everything, you got to understand that. Let me bring this up. Book of Hebrews chapter 2, right? And verse number 5. For unto the angels hath he not put in subjection the world to come, whereas we speak, but one in a certain place testified, saying, what is man that thou art mindful of him, or the son of man that thou visiteth him? Thou madest him a little lower than the angels, thou crownest him with the glory and honor, and didst set him over the works of thine hands. Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet. For in that he put all in subjection under him, he left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him. So everything's under the Lord, you understand? So those angels can't buck up and do whatever they want and commit a transgression of sin, because they're all under the subjection under Yahweh Shai.
Right.
So those angels and chains is referring to us, because we left our first estate, like the brother was bringing out.
That's right. And that's why these chains, like Yardan was saying, these are these mortal bodies, these corruptible bodies. I want to get this precept too in Romans chapter 8. Because at one point in time, we were all up there in the spirit world, in the third heaven. Right? You had the host of heaven on the left-hand side. You had the spirits of the elect created on the right-hand side. Right? Let me get that real quick in 2nd Ezra chapter 6 real quick. Quick precept. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before thunder and lightning, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid. So this is before everything, before the heavens were created, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together. So this is a timeline prior to Genesis 1, even before all the angels are made, right? Or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Zion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, this before time, and or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, here go the point, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. Who is that talking about? The elect, right? So even before the elect were created, they were, the Most High created them in the spirit world, right? Right? Up there in the foundations in the heavens. So you have the evil spirits on the left-hand side, and you have the Holy Spirit on the right-hand side. That's why these demons know you from the ancient times.
Right.
Right? That's why Acts 19, we brought that out earlier. You had the demon told Paul, Yahweh shall know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? Did he meet him on the earth? Is that their first encounter? No, you regenerate all over again. And from that goes back to the spirit world. These demons know you, man. They know that you on that side and they belong on that side, right? So we fell from our first estate. We were exiled out the spirit world and sit in these mortal bodies that serve the Most High and have dominion over the earth. And then when we lived on the earth, we fell from our first estate, and now we became slaves. We became captives. We became carnal. We became unruly, natural men. But we're originally in our first estate supposed to be spiritual men. You know.
I got one more precept on that.
Right.
Going into us being in chains, man. Right in these mortal bodies. This is Sirach 40:1. Great travail is created for every man, and an heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam from the day that they go out of their mother's womb to the day that they return to the mother of all things. Right? So everybody got that yoke upon them, you understand, living in these mortal bodies, being subject to sin.
That's right. That's right. All right. So next question. Any tips for moving like a pilgrim during Jacob's trouble?
I bring it up.
All right, go ahead. I got precept after you can.
Come, right? So you want to put your trust in the Lord, man.
That's right.
That's the only thing you can do.
That's right.
You know, we're not going to tell you to stock up on canned goods. We're not going to tell you to get your coupons together, right? We're not going to tell you to get cool with all of your neighbors, man, right? In case they got bread and you don't, right? This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19 and verse 4. It says what? But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a Jupiter tree. And he requested for himself that he might die and said, it is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. You may feel like that in Jacob's trouble, man. Like, just take my life. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to move. I don't know what's going on. You understand? It's dark out here. There's no lights. Everybody's screaming and roaring. It says, and as he laid and slept under a Jupiter tree, behold, then an angel touched him and said unto him, arise and eat. So don't just think miracles is for the ancient world, right? Brothers are doing miracles on the highways and byways, man. Waking up the dead, that's a miracle, you understand? Casting out demons, doing exorcisms like Paul did in the ancient world. Those are miracles. So don't be a carnal man and think an angel in all his glory has to come down and look upon you, right? And say, you know what, you are chosen, right? We've seen miracles in the everyday, seeing a rainbow, the Lord showing his covenant, you understand? Waking up to this truth. All of these things are miracles, right? So when the Lord literally had an angel come, right? It says what? And touched him and said, arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baked on the coals and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink and laid him down again. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time and touched him. And he said, arise, eat, right? Because the journey is too far for thee, right? The journey in Jacob's trouble is going to be too far for you. Don't nobody know how long it's going to be, right? You can't say it's going to be 3 days. You can't say it's going to be 9 months. Don't nobody know, man. It's a dispensation of time when you're going to be going through it, and all hell going to be breaking loose with famine, destruction, war, and violence. Said this journey is too far for thee. And he arose and did eat and drink and went in strength of that meal 40 days and 40 nights into Hebron, the mount of God. So the angel came down and he gave him food, and that literally sustained him for days at a time, man. We always say you can eat a loaf of bread and that make you full for a week. The Lord can do that, man. These are going to be a lot of miracles in the last days. It may be an angel right above your head, leading you into waters. You understand? Leading you into food, right? You got to trust in the Lord, right? All of these things are going to come. You can't put your trust in man, canned goods, food. You buying a bow and arrow, you snatching it on your back, right? You got the damn Wesley Snipes gloves, and you got 3 knives on you, man. That's not going to save you, right? Real fast, King. I got one more, real fast.
Okay.
Right? It's the book of Psalms, right? Chapter 20 and verse 7. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. So a lot of people, they trust in army, they trust in the so-called white man military, they trust the horses, chariots, guns, knives, machetes. They trust in these things, but we got to trust in the name of the Lord. He's that strong tower.
That's right. And I'm gonna get this quick precept. This 2 Corinthians 5 and 7. It reads, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." That's plain. We walk by faith, not by sight. So when we moving like a pilgrim in Jacob's trouble, we're not moving as carnal men, right? That's why it's important to look and read these accounts of old, man. You have to read these accounts to build up your faith. The Lord said in Romans chapter 10, 16 on down, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Your faith isn't going to be increased by sitting around watching Netflix all day, right? Your faith isn't going to be increased by sitting around you on the phone with a brother all day. Your faith comes literally by reading these accounts like the brother went into. And you got, I don't want to read First Kings, right? They were all wicked, right? I don't care about that. I only want to read about the righteous. Brother, you got read these accounts, man. And see how the Lord took care of Elijah, how the Lord took care of Elisha. All right, let me get this precept in 2 Samuel real quick. Right? Bear with me. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter. I'll start at. All right, this 2 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 24. 2 Samuel 17, 24. Then David came, because David was a pilgrim, right? Remember, Absalom overthrew the kingdom, and David became a pilgrim. He had to uproot and leave his land just like that. Leave his palace, leave his house. He left his 10 concubines there, and he was going to go, you know, and he was out there. So it says, then David came, and he didn't know where he was going. He didn't have no, I'm going to go out here. He was just on the go. Then David came to Mahanaim, and Absalom passed over Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. And Absalom made Amasa captain of the host instead of Joab, which Amasa was a man's son, whose name was Ithra, an Israelite, that went in to Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister to Zeruiah, Joab's mother. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. And it came to pass when David was come to Mahanaim, that Shobai, the son of Nahash, and Rabbah of the children of Ammon, these are the children of Ammon, and Machir, the son of Amiel of Logabar, and Barzillai, the Gileadite of Rogelim, brought beds and basins and earthen vessels and wheat and barley and flour and parched corn and beans and lentils and parched pulse and honey and butter and sheep and cheese of kine for David and for the people that were with him to eat. For they said, the people is hungry, weary, and thirsty in the wilderness. So, hey, the Lord took care of David, man. Mm-hmm. Did David hit these men up? Did he send them a text and say, hey, look, I'm out here. Look, I'm stranded. I got uprooted out my land. I'm a pilgrim on the go. No, the Lord stirred up the spirit of all of these men to bring David all these goods, man. The Lord does stuff like that, man. And the Lord put in their spirit to say, David is hungry in the wilderness. Let's go feed him. They might have been doing their own thing. They're like a damn robot. David is hungry in the wilderness. And they went to get the damn food. We have to go to David. They don't know why they're going to David. They packing up all these damn cattle, packing up the cheese. The Lord programmed them to go get David. David is hungry in the wilderness. And they have to go take care of him, huh? You're going to be sitting somewhere desolate, then the spirit hop on a brother or anybody, I have to go take care of Yaradon and Ariah. Their coordinates is over. They're gonna find where you. How they find where David was at? They're gonna find out where you at. They're gonna go on a diligent search. They're not gonna stop day or night, no sleep, till we find Ariah and Yaradon. And they're gonna give you all this damn food, right? And the Lord gonna take care of you, man. We believe in 2 Samuel 17. We believe Ariah brought up 1 Kings 19. You know, I just want to bring that account out too to let you know how the Lord take care of you in the wilderness by other people. Right? And I had another precept too. This Psalms chapter 33, and I will start at Salakia. Salakia, that's not what I want. Brother got it. It's not what I wanted. I found it real quick, Salakia. Psalms 33 and verse 16. There is no king saved by the multitude of a host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. A horse is a vain thing for safety. Neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death, to keep them alive in famine. Our soul waited for the Lord. He is our hope and our shield. So that's who the Lord is looking for. The Lord is looking for the brother that's hoping in him. The Lord not looking for the brother, yeah, I'm dealing with that brother because he bought all of the bug out bags. You know, all of the batteries and light bulbs. That's a mighty man. No, the Lord is looking for the brother that's just hoping to make it out of here, that needs the Lord. Those are the people that the Most High is looking for. The men that need the Most High, that trust in him. I just want to bring that up.
This Spell on the Dragon, verse 32. Well, I get to point 33. Now there was in Judea a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, Go carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown, and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. And Habakkuk cried out, saying, O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which God hath sent thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O God, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. But when you seek and love the Lord and put all of your hope in him, then nothing's impossible. Right? For the things with men are impossible, but the things with the Heavenly Father, they are possible. So when, like the brothers were saying, landing back in, once you put all your faith, trust, and hope in the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shema Shai, then nothing will fail. And that's why it says one more, Genesis 45:5. Now therefore, be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life. So Joseph went through all of that, to help out his brothers. Most High made him do all of that to help out his brothers, so his brothers don't starve and go through it. So the Most High watch out for you. You gotta have hope and faith in him.
That's right. Remember, the Lord tell you in Romans chapter 8, 19 on down, that the Lord made us subject unto vanity. Right? It says, not willingly, but by reason of him who had subjected the same in hope. So that's what rules over us. Hope has dominion over us if you believe in the Lord. At one point in time, vanity ruled over us, right? Meaning you were made to go off. And it constantly, when you want to be righteous and you want to be perfect, vanity kicks in and your sin kicks in, reminds you that, hey, look, you can't do this on your own, right? You can't work it out on your own. So the Lord made us subject unto hope. And we got to believe that, man. When you're subject unto something, that thing costs a shot. It rules over you. So now when you sin and you going off and you at your wit's end or you in the wilderness or it's Jacob's trouble, you got to just hope in the Lord, man. That's what rules over us as a people. We just hoping we make it. We could do all the videos all day. We could pray 40 times a day. We just hoping the Most High chooses us and beams us out of it. We just hoping. We don't really know what's going on. We don't know, but we don't have the mind of the Lord. You know, we're being diligent to make our calling and election sure. But at the end of the day, we just hoping we make it out of here. Right? We're no better than brothers listening to this thing. We have flaws. We fall short. I go off. Right? But we just hoping we make it out of here. Right? So during the time of Jacob's trouble, we just gonna have faith in the Lord. You know, and that's your driving force. Right, brothers? Anything else?
Uh,
All right. That's another question. We're not answering that question. All right. I'll answer. All right.
I got a precept after you.
All right. I kind of, it's the book of Luke, chapter 19. Unbelievable. All right. This is the book of Luke, chapter 19 and verse 21. For I fear thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou laidest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. Right? So the Lord is an austere man. No, the Lord is not a soft guy.
Right.
The Lord is not the white Jesus that the so-called white man put out there, man. Yahweh Shah is a man of war, a king of kings, the Lord of lords, man. And the Lord flipped over tables, man. I don't know. I know a lot of soft dudes, and they're not flipping over nothing but they damn pillow, right? Got to get to the other cool. No, the Lord flipped over tables and was whipping people. And tell you in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, he damn leaped out of his throne, man. He didn't say, well, I'm going to go down there. Let's see what's going on. He kind of leaped out of his throne like a fierce man of war. All right, you got it.
Con. It's the book of Luke, chapter 20 and verse 38. For he is not a God of the dead, but of the living. For all living unto him. Then certain of the scribes answering said, Master, thou hast said well. And after that, they durst not ask him any question at all. So they were scared to ask the Lord the breakdowns, man. Imagine somebody that had all the knowledge, all the truth, they perfect, right? They saving the nation, but you scared to talk to him, man. I don't know anybody scared to talk to Caesar Borgia, man.
Right.
Nobody's scared to talk to the soft guy, the nice guy. He's real friendly. He embraces everybody. This is not TV, man. And they were scared to ask the Lord a question, man. They said they durst not ask him a question, man. Because tell him what the Lord would have did. But it turned around with the red eyes, right? Oh, hell could have broke loose, man. It says, and after that, they durst not ask him any question at all, man. Right? And if you in school and your teacher all friendly, any questions? Right? Then everybody's just sticking their hand up. No, man, the Lord, you're not gonna want to approach the Lord with any folly, man. And the Lord made a thought that we better had known that breakdown, so we better not even ask the Lord.
That's right. That's right. So the Lord is not a soft guy, right? Let me get this in Matthew chapter 25. Right? Matthew chapter 25. This ain't Matthew. I'm gonna get straight to the point. It's Matthew chapter 25 and verse 20. Let's see where I want to start. 24. Is that where I want to start? Yeah, Matthew 25 and 24. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man. Right? What does that mean? He's a hard man. Man, he's kind of rough, man. You know, like somebody you really don't want to talk to. The Lord wasn't a laughy, kicky, tickled kind of guy, man. That's a serious life that the Lord had, man. He didn't have time for games. He was on the earth with a mission. It reads, thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. See that? This man was so scared, fearful of the Lord, because he's a hard man, right? And I wanted to slack it real quick. I wanted to go to that word in the Greek, right? In Matthew chapter 25 and 24, when it says that he's a hard man, that word in the Greek is scleros, right? I'm gonna play it real quick.
Strong's G 4642, skleros. Skleros.
Skleros is the Greek word for hard man. It reads hard, rough, violent, offensive, intolerable. What does that mean, intolerable? Man, you couldn't hang around the Lord, man, unless you was on a certain level. And even the apostles, look, hey, if somebody's intolerable, you're not calling them up and you want to hang out with them and get a couple drinks with them, man. The Lord was intolerable, violent, and offensive. So no, the Lord is not a soft God, man. All right. The opposite of soft is what? Hard. You can say he's a hard man. All right. You got it, Yardan.
It said Matthew 8 and 26, and he saith unto them, why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. But the men marveled, saying, What manner of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? And they didn't say that like, in the casual, what manner of man? They kind of shaking. If you see somebody control the winds and the sea and it all calm down, you're gonna be a little nervous. You're gonna take a step back. Verse 28. When he was come to the other side into the country of Gergesenes, there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. Now, a nice man, if he's seen two exceedingly fierce, demons, he's gonna be shaken. He's gonna run out of the way. Just showing you how fierce Yahushua is. And behold, they cried, saying, What have we done with thee, Yahushua, thou son of man? Art thou come hither to torment us before that time? Would a nice man torment anybody?
Right.
Would a softy would a softy do that? Of course not. So this is another example showing you that Yahushua was fierce and austere.
That's right.
Khan, I got one more on that. Right? And when they was trying to lock up the Lord and arrest him, right? He wasn't rocking. He didn't run. You understand? A lot of people that will run. Somebody trying to arrest you and kill you, put hands on you. You got a lot of men that'll flee, man. It's the book of John, chapter 18, right in verse 3. Judas then having received a band of men. There's no telling how many men this was, man. It wasn't 3 of them. It had been 20 or more. A band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees coming thither with lanterns and torches and weapons. So imagine somebody coming to you. They got lanterns, torches, they got weapons, they swinging them, right? They're ready to damn kill you. Yahushua, therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, Whom seek ye? So why would somebody confront somebody trying to kill you with weapons and torches and lanterns? Wouldn't you flee? Wouldn't that person that's a soft man go and hide? He knows all things. He already knew that this was going to come to pass. You understand? If he knew that and he was soft, he would have hit himself, knowing all things. It said, Whom seek ye? They answered him, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua said for to them, I am he. Meaning I'm right here. What's up? You know what I'm saying? You're not scaring me. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not running. I'm not hiding. Here I am. Right? It say, and Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with him. And as soon as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground. Then asked he them again, Whom seek ye? So he telling them again. The Lord like, look, who you looking for, man? That's what Jake's saying around the way. Somebody pull up. They say, man, we looking for Rodney. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm Rodney. What's up? That's what the Lord said, man. He said, Whom seek ye? They said, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua answering, I have told you that I am he. If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way. Man, and I had told you I am he. What's up, man? So the Lord wasn't running or backing down from nobody.
Right. And I believe, and linking up with that, there's an account when the Lord told them what's going on, look, I'm Yahweh Shai, they kind of fell back, man. They kind of fell on the ground. What the hell? You know? Hey man, if the Lord rolled up on you, you'll be, if the demons bow down to the Lord, how much more to man? Stop thinking the Lord is a nice guy, man. We bring that out, we've been bringing that out through the spirit since we've been damn doing it, man. The Lord is not a tickle guy. We don't say that for fun. The Lord is coming with a garment drenched in blood. Right? The Lord said in Luke 19:27, but those mine enemies, which were not that I should reign over them, he said, bring them hither and slay them before me. He didn't say go kill them in the corner. I don't want to see it. He didn't say duck off somewhere, take a mile away and kill them. He said, I want to see the bloodshed of Israelites, man. Dead. He said, in my face. Now, there's no telling how close that bloodshed is going to be. The Lord, Lord might get a little blood right here. The Lord might do this. Kill the next one, right? Blood getting the garment. The Lord look at his garment. Kill the next one, and that's going to be fierce to see, man. You know, it's going to be like that in the wilderness. You're going to have Israelites just get their head chopped off. You know, brother, anything else you want to bring out?
La.
All right. HBKN. The day Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac, was it the Passover? Right? Well, can brothers see me?
You kind of froze. You good now.
Yeah, Abraham didn't keep the Passover. Right? You can't, it don't say. The Passover didn't come into play until Moses, right? During the time of Exodus. Right? Abraham kept laws and commandments. You know, tell you that. Let me get that in Genesis 26:5 real quick. Right? But Abraham didn't keep the Passover. You know, Abraham didn't keep Purim. Right? He didn't celebrate the destruction of Nicanor. He didn't keep the Feast of Dedication. All right. This Genesis chapter 26:5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. So yeah, Abraham kept the law, statutes, commandments, but there is no account of Abraham keeping the Passover. Right? Now, you know, brothers you don't want to get too deep in this thing.
Right.
Right? You don't want to get too deep and try to tie loose ends that don't connect. Let me get this real quick. And Sirach. Right, this is Sirach chapter 3 and 21. It reads, Sirach 3 and 21, seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength. But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence. For it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret. Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for many things are showed unto thee than men understand. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. So you don't want to try to, again, say something that's not there. Yeah, Abraham, it's like Adam was 7'7" because 7 is the spiritual number. And when the Lord took Adam out and then he put him in the garden, it really wasn't a garden, it was the number 7 because, brother, you can't say that, brother. You don't want to get too deep, you're going to bug out. There's no account of Abraham sacrificing Isaac on the Passover, right? We don't know if that was the first, because the Passover is the 15th day of the first month, right? It don't give a date, you know. I wanted to bring that up. Want to say anything else? That's plain. You got something else?
Nah, that's plain.
All right. We're rolling through the questions. The brother, and this first come first serve. So the brother, you know, he put a lot of questions in first. Will we be allowed to reproduce with heathen women in the kingdom? Eve be tripping sometimes. All right? Yeah, then I think we back on you.
Kind of. Right. Ecclesiastes 2 and 6.
Will we be allowed to reproduce with heathen women in the kingdom? Eve be tripping. Well, Eve not going to be tripping in the kingdom.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that.
That's
For
what
real.
Oh, but go ahead, Yardan. I just want to make that quick point.
No, I was going to say the same. Everything's going to be done decently and in order.
Right.
You got to remember when you read in Exodus. Well, I'm gonna bring this out before I jump all over the place.
And quick point, Yardan. We gotta get our mind right. We shouldn't be. That's the last thing we should be worried about as a servant to the Lord, right? That shouldn't be in the forefront of your mind. You got that on your right hand and in your forehead. You're thinking about reproducing with heathen woman in the kingdom. That that you can't be thinking about that, man. You know, you gotta focus on what's at hand, man. The Lord said, "Tie wear my commandments around your neck." Paraphrasing, and Proverbs chapter 7. That's what we worried about: the commandments, the laws, right? Being diligent, but you don't want that in your forehead, man. The Lord said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Eat and drink saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. So if that's what you're thinking about, then that's pretty much what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just want to make that quick point, yard down.
Good point. This is Ecclesiastes 2:6. And I usually, when because Jake usually asks us on the highways and byways, at least with us, and I'll tell him pretty much the same thing, like damn near word for word. When you think about it, then you're gonna, you meditate in it, and then what's the next thing you usually do? You execute it with your right hand.
Right.
So that's like how people say, I feel ugly or I think I'm ugly. Well, brother, you're gonna think you're ugly for the rest of your life. You're gonna do all this stuff to your face.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Ecclesiastes 2:6. I made me pools of water to water therewith, the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens and servants born in my house. Also, I had great possessions of great and small cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I bring this out to say in the kingdom is actually going into everything Solomon did and had, but this also is applicable to us in the kingdom because everything he had will have, such as servants and handmaids. So that should answer your question, straight to the point. We'll have servants and handmaids. And there's another precept in the book of Maccabees I'd have to find where the heathen they took the woman and it spoke about us going to captivity and how they took the man but also the woman, right? When you read in Deuteronomy 32:7, remember the days of old, and Deuteronomy 30:7, all these curses that were upon us, it will be upon our enemies, the heathen. So the things that happen to us, our woman, is going to happen to them and their woman. To answer it both bluntly, but again, I don't like to dive too deep into it because Jake, they'll lose their mind over that.
Yeah, I want to make a quick point. Now it's brothers, this get a controversial topic. In the ancient world, actually, let me get this precept real quick. In the book of Zechariah. Right? Let's go to the book of Zechariah. All right, we can't ignore the scriptures, and we want to make it plain. All right, this is the book of Zechariah. Let's see where I want to start. Chapter 14 and verse 1. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the woman ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity. Right now, although we're not, we don't meditate on dealing with heathen women all day. The Lord said that when you take these other nations down in the kingdom, their wives are going to be ravished. Now, bear with me. I want to go into the Hebrew for that word ravish. Right. So when you look that word up in the Hebrew, it says to lie down with, to lie with of sexual relations. We're just keeping it plain, right? It is what it is. We have to declare the whole gospel. So when the Lord said you ravish them, that don't mean you're going to play checkers with them, right? So you're going to, that's part of the law in Deuteronomy 21, but that's not something that we focus on, but it is in the scriptures. So to answer the brother question, yeah, you're going to have them, but yeah, the Eve is not going to be tripping, right? If that's the reason why, you're thinking about that, your women are going to be righteous, brother. Right? All the daughters of Zion are going to be perfect. Right? You got some, Araya?
I mean, I was gonna go to the law in Deuteronomy 21 too about taking the
Come,
woman captive. You know, that's in the law too. Let me
no
bring
doubt.
this up real fast. Right, so like all the brothers touching on, right? That's not going to be something that you want on your mind, King. You know, because you don't even know if you're gonna get the kingdom. Your first thing should be thinking about is keeping these law, statutes, and commandments, and keeping the faith, so you
Right.
can get beamed up out of the land of destruction, man. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21 and verse 10. And when thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God have delivered them into thy hands. Now that's in the ancient world, but that's literally gonna come to pass. Again, man, we're gonna take them down, right? We're gonna beat them down, we're gonna put them in the chains, and that's gonna be the war. You understand? And say what? And they're gonna be delivered into our hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and see if among the captives a beautiful woman, and as a desire unto her, right, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, right, humble herself, a new beginning, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from her offer, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month, and after that thou shouldest go into her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. Right? And we know that the law is perfect, man. So nothing in the law should offend you, and that's in the ancient world. You understand? And we're gonna go to war again. We're gonna take them down. We're gonna take them captive, right? So let me get Song of Solomon real
Right.
fast, right? It's the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse number 8. There are 80 queens and 80 concubines and virgins without number. My dove, my defile is but one. Right? You got all these different nations and their philosophies, all these different women, right? Man, Israel's but one. You can't say, Eve be tripping. I don't know what this thing. No, man, Israel's one. She's above all of those different nations. You understand? Even in their wickedness, right? Israel is above all nations upon the face of this earth, man. And you can't be sitting there, thinking about, this and that. You should want to increase your sisters and want them to keep the commandments. And like the brother said earlier, all the women of Zion are going to be righteous in the kingdom. My dove, my undefiled, is but one. She is the only one of her mother. She is the choice one of her that bare her. The daughters saw her and blessed her. Yea, the queens and the concubines, they praised her. Right on the spiritual level, it's going into all of these different nations bowing down to Israel. You understand? So look, it's nobody that compete with the daughters of Zion. They're gonna be perfect in the kingdom, right? And even as of old, everyone's gonna bow down. You got a yard down.
It's saying First Maccabees 1 and 32. For the woman and children took they captives and possessed the cattle. That's what the heathen did towards us. And they didn't play checkers and hopscotch with them. And
Right.
they ravaged them. And I brought that out to say in Deuteronomy 30 and 7, all the curses and all the things that happened on us are going to happen upon them. They besieged our towers and our strongholds and they took it down, and it's all going to happen to them.
That's right. Let's link up this Isaiah 60 and 21. Right? Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. But the Lord said all our people are going to be all righteous, man. Eve is not going to be going off. You know what I'm saying? Jake, you're not going to be going off, man. Right? This real quick, Isaiah chapter 4, and I'll get verse here. It's Isaiah chapter 4 and 4. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. So the Lord is going to cleanse all of the filth of the daughters of Zion, man. All of that talking back spirit, that I don't want to be submissive, I want to be an independent woman, I want to do my own thing. All that stuff is about to be done away with, man. Right? So I just wanted to bring that out. All right, this is the next question. Is masturbation a sin? Right? Brothers want to deal with that, and then I get in there.
I get in there.
All right.
Right.
That,
So
but
yes, it's a sin.
yeah.
Go ahead, you got it. You about to say
No,
something?
I just want to make a quick point. There was a brother, we told the brother you can't masturbate. He said, no, I can't, and you offended me. And he made a video about us. And he said, y'all brothers in WFI offended me, and I'm going to do it anyway. I want to make that quick point.
You can't,
See
but
that?
not too much. I think he said that. That's
Yeah,
the
you
same
can,
one.
but you got to do it in moderation. That's what he said.
What the hell is moderation? What scripture is that, man? Right? It's the book of it's the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 4. That every one of you should know, right, how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor. Right? So you should know how to possess your vessel, man. Right? You shouldn't be all out doing lewd things, man. Right? You offended. And on a deeper level, this is the Lord's temple, man. Right? This your body's just not of your own. You understand? This is the Lord's temple, and the Lord dwells in you. So if you sitting there doing lewd things, man, that's off as hell, man. Right? We always break it down the metaphor. You wouldn't throw a smoke bomb inside of a Lord's temple, right? So what the hell are you doing smoking, man? You understand? You wouldn't have sex with lewdness in the Lord's temple. So why are you defiling yourselves with harlots? The same thing with your physical member, man. You can't be doing that. This is the Lord's temple, man. Right? You can't be tatting it all up. Can't be gang banging and fighting and all that's wicked, man. Let me go to Colossians. Right? So you gotta know how to do this thing, man. You gotta be able to possess your vessel. This is Colossians 3 and 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, right? Affection, evil concupiscence, right? So that's lust. That's nasty lust, man. And a lot of people that have a problem with that. They kind of go in the deep end. They have fetishes, right? Oh, hell be breaking loose, man. I heard some wild things. I'm not gonna repeat this week, man. Right? And it's off, man. You know, counseling and things like that. And you know, a lot of people they deal with the lust demon. And you got to be able to fight that because all that is a demon, man. Right? You got it, bro.
Yeah, I just want to now this is a title. This is from I'm not gonna put the name of the congregation out there, right? Or what they say. It says masturbation is not a sin, but being addicted will lead to death. Right? So they're kind of saying you could do it, but just don't be addicted to it. Or you do it, you do it whenever, whatever, you feel like it, you're in the car, whatever, but you just don't be addicted to it. That's what brothers are saying, right? That's what we're not saying that, but you got brothers in Israel saying that, man. Where is it at in the scriptures? You could do it, just make sure you're not addicted to it. Madness, man. This link up this Romans with the brother Ryan was going into, Romans chapter 7 and 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin, but by the law. But I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet. So if you're dealing with masturbation, you're dealing with lust. If you're dealing with lust, you're dealing with covetousness. That goes back to the 10 Commandments, right? You can't say, well, show me in the law why I can't masturbate. Brother, it's not going to say straight up, thou shalt not do so and so. You can't be into this freakism in the last days, man. You think Abraham and you think Jake, you got to stop that, man, and repent and fight, like Ariah was saying, fight them fleshly demons, man. The Lord said in 1 Peter chapter 2, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against the soul. It's 1 Peter 2 and 11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you, as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against the soul. And that's a war right there, man. Your flesh wants you to go the hell off and go to work on yourself. You got brothers that get through doing the breakdown. I just did the work, and then you go to work on your own self. Right? That's evil, man.
Talking about overtime.
Yeah, WFI overtime. Right? Or so I'm working overtime, and you going to overtime clocking in, man.
On yourself.
Right. You can't do that. Now, the Lord says that's a war against the soul because your soul want to do what's right. That's why, Jake, when you do stuff like that, you always got your head down. Right? I did. You got brothers messaging you. I did so and so. I feel bad. I shouldn't have did that. Well, brother, you know it's off. That's why you feel bad about it, man. Your flesh want to do what's right, and that's a demon, man. If you into pornography, masturbation, that's demonic, man. You know, and you gotta repent, and you gotta fast them evil spirits away. You got it.
Yeah, man. And I brought this out on the Sabbath service a while ago, right? But I didn't I didn't have the information pulled up. But man, you could look this up, man, on your own time. Right? Brothers could read that.
Wow. Wow, that's a Jake too. And they got him on the stretcher. A jaw dropping 56 times for dying of a heart attack. Unbelievable. You see that? 56 times straight. That's evil, man. But the Lord dealing with that, man. You know? That's off, man. You got brothers saying, well, show me in the law. All right, brother. See if will you do that on a chariot? Or you getting a being up on the chariot? If it's lawful, do it on the chariot with the angel. You ducked off in the corner somewhere, Israel turning up, like doing this, right? Doing that, and you ducked off in the corner, man. And the angel gonna press that button, and you're gonna be out of there, man. You're gonna be back on the earthly level. Right? So no, you can't do that, man.
Hold on. I got a precept too. Yeah, man. You should be able to have some type of discernment in the spirit, that a demon is on you, man, at some type of point.
Right.
It's the book of History of Susanna, right? Verse number 8. And the two elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed toward her, right? So when you inflamed, hey man, you got to do what you got to do, man, and that's wicked, man. You don't want to be inflamed, right? That's the last thing you don't want to do, man. Right? You need to pray. You need to whip out the precepts. You need to declare a fast. You could call your brother or your sister, right? Hey, it's a lot you can do, man. Right? The last thing you need to do is lean on your own understanding, right, and go the hell off, man. And what did they lust lead them to do? Almost try to rape her, man. Try to pull a fast one. You understand? The Lord didn't have the angels around the chosen. All hell could have break loose. So a lot of these wicked women, these Eves, right, in their wickedness, dressing like dots and all of these things, they get kidnapped, right? They get raped. They get taken advantage of, right? Because that lust demon, that's real strong. And you don't want to give heed unto that. And like I brought up the story, man, that really happened. You understand it? That's off, man. You can't, no one even would drink 56 glasses of water a day. Yeah.
Yeah, this linked up to that. This Job 17:9, what the brother said. The righteous also shall hold on his way. He that hath clean hands shall be stronger and stronger. So how you gonna have clean hands and you doing that? Literally and spiritually, man. You're gonna be weaker and weaker, man. Your hands are gonna be defiled. You gotta have clean hands in this thing. All right. And that's how you grow stronger and stronger. Clean hands meaning righteous works. Right? You're studying, you're praying, you're fasting, you're loving your neighbor, you're building up your nation. You understand? You're declaring judgment, you're filled of equity, you got the spirit on you. The foul hands would be your hands that are going into your works, are going into wickedness and sin and malice, man. So stop listening to brothers and sisters saying you could do that, man. Yeah, if you had a bad day at work, look, you could just knock it out real quick, right? That's off, man. Now you got to come out of that old man. That's part of the old man. So brother has something else? All right, next question from Wesley 305. Are the strangers in Isaiah chapter 14:2 Israelite foreigners?
It's Isaiah chapter 14, verse 2.
Right.
I'll start at verse 1. Jake knows more and more. And was watching.
Come.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And you got to ask yourself, people that's well, who's oppressing us? It's Esau, it's the heathen, it's the strange people, the heathen. This is First Maccabees chapter 6. Oops, what is that? Oh yeah, First Maccabees chapter. Oh, what is that? It just slipped my mind. I just had a slug here. Going into the heathen, 168. Brothers know what I'm talking about?
You
I
said
just
what?
had it. The strangers, and going into the heathens, and then list the Pharisees, the Egyptians, the Edomites, and Maccabees.
First Ezra's 8 and
Yeah,
69.
Yeah, First Esdras, water. First Ezra chapter 8. I'm gonna start verse 67. Or yeah, 68. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, the Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land. And it's going to tell us the strange people, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit, of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and the Moabites, Egyptians, and Edomites. So those are the strange people. Those are those strangers spoken of in Isaiah 14, 1 through 3, or 1 through 2.
That's right.
We're not going to oppress our own people in the kingdom. That'll be off. Because that's against the law to oppress your own people.
So yeah, like the brother said, them strangers in Isaiah chapter 14 and 2, you have to keep things in this proper context. A lot of brothers, you talk about the precept upon precept, but you neglect the line upon line. Right? You want to see the word stranger and find 1,000 precepts that show Israelites are strangers, but you're not reading it line upon line. How could Isaiah chapter 14 and 2, how could it is impossible for those to be Israelite foreigners? It says the people shall take them. Who's the them? The them are the strangers, right? And bring them to their place. We're not going to have to do that, right? The Lord is going to beam us and put us in our own land. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Like Yaradan said, we're not going to go and gather Israelites and put them in slavery, man. That's madness. Now, you got brothers that believe that. There's a particular congregation, I'm not going to put them out there, but they say, hey, look, the 2/3 are going into slavery, right? They say, well, when the kingdom of heaven is established, we're going to round up the 2/3 and beat them down. They're going to be our slaves forever and ever. Now, I don't know what's going to happen to them after 1,000 years. Are they going to be exterminated? But they say we're going to be ruling over our own people. That's not in the Bible. Where is that at, man? You know? Well, you're going to take wicked Eve captive. She's running. You put a damn chain around her neck, and now she is a slave. And Jake, your brother, you see your brother crying, lifting rocks in the kingdom, and you sitting there, yeah, that's the 2/3. That's off, man. You know? So no, Isaiah chapter 14 and 2, those strangers are actual heathen, right? And I just did a cold cut through the spirit on that earlier, addressing who the strangers are, right? So you can check out the cold cut. Brothers do videos on that, lessons on that all the time. You could check out who the strangers are, who the foreigners are, when it's talking about Israel, and when it's talking about the actual heathen.
Yeah,
You know?
and another point on that, when you read the whole chapter, this has nothing to do with any type of slavery for Jake. This is going into the destruction of the so-called white man and taking down Babylon and them falling, you understand? Coming from off their throne to a lower state. So like the brother said, you got to always keep in context the line upon line, because you could jam yourself up, you understand? And that will take away your whole understanding. You just go precept upon precept without keeping nothing in context, you could jam yourself up. Right, next thing you know, you believe in off doctrine. That's why you got to keep things in its proper context. That's why the Lord said he would shew thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. Meaning in the first context, and then you read it in the spirit, you link it up through the precepts, right? It has a whole different meaning.
Right. So Salaki, on the questions, they automatically refreshed it. So if it seems as though we missed your question, just put your question back up again. All right, because they'll automatically refresh the feed and the comments where we're getting the questions from, and they'll move past the questions that we missed. So if you put a question and we missed your question, just post it again, and we'll get to it. From Tony Brayboy. Okay, that's not what we want. Joshua Brewer. In the kingdom, do we live 1,000 years? You're going to live forever in the kingdom. All right. Let me get this precept. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, right? Chapter 2 and 23, right? It reads, for the Most High created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold up his side do find it. So the Most High made the Israelite man to be immortal. It's not talking about the Edomite. It's like it's not talking about Esau. It's dealing with the sons of the living God, right? It's keeping it in its proper context. We were made to be immortal. What does the word immortal mean? Meaning you don't die. There is no mortality rate. All right. M meaning no or non, and mortal meaning to live. Right? Meaning you're going to live forever. There's not going to be a time when your life is taken away from you. All right, that's plain. I know brothers got precepts.
Come on, got one. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, right? Chapter 15 and verse number 26. That last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. So the Lord said, look, the last enemy that's going to be destroyed is death, man. Because death reigns over every one of us, right? Anybody could die to death, you understand? But in the kingdom, it's not going to be so. Jump into verse 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? So the Lord kind of mocking it, man. Like, how's it going to reign over you anymore? Where's the sting of it? Where's it to be scared of? Where are we going to visit this thing? What's going to come to pass any longer? The sting of death is sin. So if you sin, that's what brings forth death. You understand? You read about that in James, the 1st chapter, the 13th verse on down. So if you're not committing no more sin, how you going to get put to death? Right? Because when you go off, right, and sin brings forth death. It says the sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. Now, let me get that in James. Right? So if you committing sins, that's going to bring forth death. So if you perfect in the kingdom of heaven, you got the laws in your inward parts, how are you going to die? This is James chapter 1 and verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yahweh. For Yahweh cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So if you bring in that sin in, you understand, that's going to bring forth that death. So if you perfect and unspotted, like the brother brought out Isaiah, the 60th chapter, right, you're going to be righteous in the inward parts, right? You're not going to have to bring forth any sin, which is going to lead to death.
Huh. This Revelation, right? 21, right? It's the book of Revelation, chapter 21 and 4. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. It's not spiritual tears, right? We don't have, last time I checked, when brothers getting shot in the streets by Esau, they don't cry spiritual tears, right? Last time I checked, when your mother get damn killed by a stray bullet, I don't see spiritual tears. These are actual, because you got brothers saying, well, that's spiritual tears. And no, that's literal, man. Right? The Most High is going to wipe away all tears. Not that he's going to have a hand and come down and do this. It meaning that crying is going to be done away with, man. It reads, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, Neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. See that? See that right there? The former things are passed away. All right, that's how it's going to be. All right, the former things are going to be passed away, and there's going to be no more death, no more pain, no more sorrow. All right, it is what it is. You got another precept, King?
You got it.
All right, let me get this other precept real quick. Like the brother went into 1 Corinthians 15, right?
Come.
Yeah, let me get this in Hebrews. Let me go to this real quick. Hebrews chapter 8. Right? This Hebrews chapter 8 and 7. We got to remember the purpose of the law. Right? The Lord tell you in 1 Timothy chapter 1 and 9 on down that the law was made for the whoremonger, murderers of fathers, murderers of mothers, manslayers. You understand? Men that defile themselves. So we know the law was created to have man have some form of discipline and obedience to the Most High. That's why the law is there. And the penalty for breaking the law is for your disobedience, right? You have statutes that go into the judgments of how to deal with a person that transgressed the law. You have certain laws where you get burnt with fire. You take a man and his mother. Certain laws where you get hung. Certain laws where you get stoned. All that stuff is going to be done away with because we're going to have the laws in our inward parts, right? Let's get this in Hebrews 8 and 8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said the Lord, and I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers, and the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least, right? From the least, Slakia, to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. See that? That's plain. All right. So you're not going to have heart attacks in the kingdom. You're not going to be burying your loved ones. Right? Because you're commanded to weep, man. And Sirach chapter 22 and 38 and 16 says, make bitter moan and weep bitterly. You know? You're not going to be burying Peter. Peter the apostle, he kind of getting old, and then you got to take Peter off the throne, and we got to bury Peter. And then John right behind him, right? John, he about to give up the ghost. His eyes getting dim, and we got to bury John the Revelator. Then Andrew, and now we got to replace the 12 apostles with their firstborn son. They got to put him back on the throne, and then we got to wait for Peter to come back in the third and fourth generation. We got to resurrect Peter from the dead, and that's over with, man. You know, that's the purpose of the resurrection. The purpose of the resurrection, when these brothers that receive the resurrection of the just, they're no longer going to have a death have dominion over them. I got one more on that real quick, Salaki. I got one more on that, Salaki. This is Philippians, right? Philippians chapter 3 and 21. Philippians 3 and 21. Who shall change our vile body that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body. So our corruptible body on the resurrection is going to be fashioned like unto Yahweh's body when Yahweh was resurrected, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. So when Yahweh was resurrected, could Yahweh get put to death again? Right? Could Pontius Pilate come back and say, hold on now, what's going on? No, because he was resurrected with a different body. He didn't have the same body, corruptible, fleshly, carnal body he had on the earth, man. Now they wanted to do that to Lazarus. Brothers, remember, Lazarus was resurrected, and they wanted to kill him again, man. Evil, right? But when we're resurrected and we're given that spiritual body, you're not going to be able to kill us. All right? Now, in the wilderness, you're going to have 2/3 that died, but that's before we pass through the bond of the covenant. Not 2/3. You're going to have brothers that die in the wilderness, but that's before they pass through the bond of the covenant. right? And the bond of the covenant is when you receive the laws in your inward parts. You know?
Come. Well, I got a quick precept. This Wisdom of Solomon 1:15. For righteousness is immortal, right? So if you righteous, you're gonna be immortal, man. Immortal means to live forever. You understand? So if you righteous and you have the laws in your inward parts, it's impossible for you to die because you're gonna be immortal at that point. Right? So, brothers, and another thing, if you read one precept, don't let that one precept jam you up. You got to have 2 or 3 witnesses. That's why the Lord said precept upon precept. So if something confuses you, don't just run and make a doctrine out of it. You understand? All throughout the scriptures, you can read from different accounts that we're going to live forever. We're going to be an image of the Lord's, right? Like we read about in Wisdom of Solomon 2:23.
That's right. That's right. All right, next question. Young Strongs, right? And we pray that these questions are sincere questions, right? Because the Most High judgeth the reins in the heart. Is it a sin to get crispy lineups? All right, I deal with that. All right, I believe it was on me, or was it on you? Who was on? It don't matter.
It don't matter.
All right, let's go to the classic. Let's go to the law on Leviticus chapter 19. Right, so you don't want to, again, the law speaks plainly. Leviticus chapter 19:27, you shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. So you don't want to destroy your natural line of your beard, right? That's plain. So if you getting a crispy lineup, and certain brothers' beard grow different, where they can, kind of hook it up, whatever the case may be. Other brothers, they beards kind of grow up, like they'll have hairs right here, and their natural line is a little different. So they don't want to cut into their natural line. As long as you don't cut into the natural line of your beard, right? That's all. All right. You can trim it. You can trim it down. You know what I'm saying? But you can't mar the corners of your beard. I can't take my beard and then I cut it down and I get it like a little chin strap or whatever the case may be, or cut this part off and keep a goatee. So that's plain. All right, Young Brown 757. If Jacob be perfect in the kingdom, what is least in the kingdom?
Okay.
You got it done.
It's Luke 12. And like it.
I got something to view. Why are you looking for that?
This is Luke. That's like it is Luke 22:30. And it reads this: that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. I bring this out to say that there's hierarchy and order in the kingdom. Right? The same way we try the best of our ability to have order and have things run smoothly and decently. It will be like that in the kingdom, but much more perfect. So you're gonna have, of course, the Most High, Yahushai, you got David, you got the 12, you got the 144, and then you have the rest of Israel. Right? Everybody's not gonna have the same position and status as the 12 apostles. After all, the Lord said in the book of Matthew, He gave them the keys of heaven to bound those that are in earth and things of that nature. So certain Israelites will have more of a more power, more responsibilities. So the least in the kingdom are going to be those that's not, in their level. Not to say they wicked and people going to, smack them and they're going to be belittled and people going to scorn and mock them and, beat them up. They're just going to be the least in the kingdom. That's why I see some 20-fold, some 40-fold, some 50-fold. You got it.
Yeah, I got a quick precept. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You got it, King.
Come. It's the book of Luke, chapter 19, right? In verse number 15, and it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man have gained by trading. Right? So, like the brother said, it's hierarchy in this thing, right? How much work you put in, whether you the elect, whether you the 1/3, you understand, whether you the 2/3, whatever lot you is what you're going to receive. And came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, Well done, thy good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. So these different men that had different lots and different talents that the Lord gave them, which was the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that they flipped and they increased, you understand? And when the Lord came back, it literally gave to these men their rewards. And each man, you're going to receive that penny on a main full level, which is the kingdom, but you're going to have different offices in the kingdom, right? It says what? Have been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. Every Israelite not going to have authority over 10 cities, you understand? Everybody's not going to rule on a massive level like the next man. And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound has gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, Be thou also over 5 cities. So you got one man, he's over 10 cities, the other man's over 5 cities. And another came saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest where thou didst not sow. Right? So you have certain men, they're going to receive different rewards, you understand? 10 cities, 5 cities. Other men are just going to have a mansion, like you read about in John, the 14th chapter. Just going to have a little mansion. They're going to have a little thing. Might have a little dispensation of land, but they're not going to have a whole city. Like Maryland would be a whole landmass. DC, Virginia. Then you're going to have certain men that just have a mansion. Right now, to the modern day, what they call them, Tom Fords and the Bill Gates, they not rich. They would be poor in the kingdom of heaven, man. Because they're not going to have the massive things that the Israelites are going to have, man. We're going to have cattle without number, riches, you understand, gold and silver that we're going to lay up as dust. We're going to have land masses. We're going to be able to do whatever we want in righteousness. So different man is going to receive different rewards by the dispensation of what the Lord gives man. So it's going to be a hierarchy, like the brother said, in the kingdom.
And this precept linked up to what the brother just went into. This First Chronicles chapter 2 and 22. It reads, And Segub begat Jair, who had 23 cities in the land of Gilead. And he took Geshur and Aram with the towns of Jair from them, with Kanaf and the towns thereof, even 80 cities. All these belong to the sons of Machir, the father of Gilead. So this man has 60 cities, man. You know, not everybody has 60 cities. He has 60 cities. Who gave him that? The Lord, right? Now, that didn't make them equal to everybody. You had other men, they might have only had, one mule, right? You had the parable in 2 Samuel chapter 11, if I'm not mistaken, where you had the one man with the little ewe lamb, right? 12. Okay, 12. Right? The one man with the ewe lamb that Nathan gave David, right? Now this man has 60 cities. So men are going to have their different amount of cities in the kingdom of heaven, man. This Zechariah, real quick, another quick precept. Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 5. And the governors, now this is dealing with us transitioning to the kingdom, taking the nations down. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength. And that day will I make the governors, Salakia, and that day will I make the governors of Judah like a hearth of fire among the wood. So you're going to have governors. Is everybody going to be a governor in the kingdom of heaven? No, everybody's not going to be a governor, man. Everybody's not going to have, you look that word up in the Hebrew, it means chief, right? Not everybody's going to be a chief, man. You're going to have men, they're on the lower level. They're going to have men at the 12 apostles, the 144,000. You're going to have the 1/3, These days are coming back on the earth. We're going to have the heads of tribes. The Lord you're going to have all of the Judites. You're going to have the heads of the Judites. You have the elders. You have the officers. All of this rank that Moses set up from the beginning, they're coming back on the earth. Man. The heads of thousands, valiant men, men of valor, famous men in the congregation. The famous men are coming back on the earth, right? The men of valor are back on the earth. The governors are coming back on the earth. The officers are coming back on the earth. Treasurers, exactors, counselors. Tell you in Isaiah chapter 1, the Lord is going to give us our counselors and officers back again. So at least in the kingdom, that means you're going to be there, right? In the first resurrection, you're going to be destroyed. But when you're born back, you're going to be there, but you're not going to have the same position as the man who made it on the first resurrection. You got it, King.
I was gonna say that's why like I think one of y'all brought out, one of the brothers mentioned, yeah, we all gonna get that penny, but you know, certain brothers on another level, on another side of that, you know, coin, another side of that parable, you know, you get out what you put in, right? If you did X, Y, and Z, did this hard for the Lord, you went this hard, did all this praying and studying and fasting, went out all these days, right? Did all of this, the Lord's going to reward you according to your work, right? But if you didn't do so much and you had slow feet, then you're going to get that much, right? The Lord, you know, is all about justice and balance. You know, the Lord can do whatever he wants, but, you know, you can't see really a brother, you know, going out once a month to go teach. Every month, once a month, he go out and go teach and do one video. And out of that, you know, besides that, he played 2K all day. The Lord's not going to give him the position over 10 kingdoms or 10 cities. You know.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
One more, Salaki. This is 1 Timothy 5:18. For the scripture said, "Thou shalt not muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn, and the labor is worthy of his reward." Right? That's literal. That's going back to the law. When on the spiritual level, the labor is worthy of his reward. That's what Paul told the Corinthians. I think not that y'all labor in vain. You're going to get your reward.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scriptures right there, man. You can't muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn, man. That ox laboring and doing all that work, he has a right to eat up the fruit of his labor. I mean, he had a right to enjoy the benefits of eating the grass and the corn because he's laboring, man. Why would you muzzle the ox while he's doing all that labor? Right? He's sitting there plowing and working. You don't give him no food, no water. He's worthy of that. So we the laborers, man. And we're worthy of our reward if it be the will of the Most High. Is everybody laboring? No, not everybody's laboring. You got brothers that come in on the 30-fold level and they kind of just sitting around like this all day, just waiting for something to happen. Don't be the brother just waiting for something to happen, man. You know, you just wait for somebody to tell you what to do. Okay, all right. Don't be the brother just wait for somebody to tell you what to do. All right, and tell me what to do, so I just sit on my hands. He's sitting in the chair, sitting on his hands. Right, got his thumb in his mouth and his finger in his ear, waiting to figure out what to do next, man. You know, you got to make it happen out here. You got to labor in this thing, man.
Right.
Stop waiting for brothers to tell you to get up and do the work.
Hey, at work, Jake, you know, they don't wait for their boss to tell them to do something. They hop up and just find something to do, and they do their best to look busy. You know, you got to do that in sincerity and it's truth. You know.
Right. All right. From Rock 22. Question. I saw a fleet of chariots last night. Was it meant for me to see them? I felt it was. All right.
I go into it.
God.
Right. So everything on a deeper level is meant to be, man. You can't stay the Lord's hand, and everything is predestination. From you waking up in the morning, bearing witness to the truth, to seeing the chariots, to not seeing any chariots. Some people in the truth, they never saw chariots before, man. I mean, they never saw the chariots of God, man. You understand? They never seen that. Then you got some men, they've seen them back to back, right? They've seen them every other day. You understand? Everything is of the Lord. Now, the Lord could have did that to increase your faith, right? To show you that they're above your head, protecting you, right? Or just for you to just see him, right? For the Lord to open up your eyes to it. You may not have believed, right? It's different reasons. Or they could have been on the move for destruction or salvation to save somebody in time of trouble. So you don't know, right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Let's go to the classic 20 and 24, right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 24. And it reads, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So nobody can understand their own way, man, in this thing. Everything is of the Lord. Everything you see, to what you hear. Like, if it was up to us, we would have been in this truth since the day we was born, man. We would have never tasted wickedness, you understand? Like Peter said, he never ate anything common or unclean in his life. I wish brothers could say things like that. It's not of us when we come into this truth, you understand? It's of the Lord. So everything, right, is a time and on the balance of when the Lord want to bring you into this thing, man. Right? Let me get the book of Acts. The book of Acts, chapter 16 and verse 7. And they were come to Mysteria and essayed to go into Bithynia, but the Spirit suffered them not. So the Spirit tell you what to do. It may suffer you not to see things. It may suffer you to see things. Everything is of the Spirit. So it's definitely meant for you to see those chariots. Now, if you put a little bit onto that and say, you know what, the chariots, they camping around, they waiting to beam me up, they stalking me, they letting me know something. No, you can't add unto what you see, but just know that it was meant for you to see the chariots.
That's right. And I get a quick precept. This is Luke. So I get this Luke chapter 21 and verse. So I'll start at 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. But that's also, brother, a prophecy that's meant to happen, man. Because the Lord said that these will be signs of the end of the world, right? That you saw the fleet of chariots. Other brothers may see them. That's the Most High letting you know that these are the major signs of the end of the world. And, there was an article not too long ago that chariot sightings have increased exponentially since like 2018. You on mute, Yardan, or we can't hear you.
200%.
Yeah, 200%. Chariot sightings have increased since 2018. So that's showing you that the fig tree is blossoming, brother. The leaves are growing. It's almost summertime. The weather's changing. It's getting hotter. Judgment is coming. Right? So that's also, now we don't have the mind of the Lord. All we can do our best is go for precepts, right? And just give you, the common understanding, right? Like the brother's going into. So that's also a major prophecy to let you know that, hey, look, you're living in the end of the world. And I would take that chariot as a sign to be on fire. I'll take it to be on. Look, I'm trying to get beamed up in that thing, right? I wouldn't take that chariot sightings as, hey, look, I know I'm not elect. Right? That's my chariot going to beam me up. And I pick that one, and I'm going to send that one to this brother over here. And this brother, you chariot, you fly over there. You tell them chariots what to do. You got to tell the chariots to do this. Every time they come around, you do this. Get out of here. Kind of shoo them away. Like I seen you already. That's wicked, man. You got brothers that kind of shoot the chariots away. Been there, done that. Right? No, brother, you look at them chariot sightings, and that's a sign to be diligent, man. And to be on fire. I want to bring that up. You got something else?
And touch on what you said again, like just like you got Elisha, man. You understand? In the time of the kings, man. It did that. Let me bring this out real fast. So that could definitely be a sign to increase your faith. You don't want to take these signs lightly. You understand? You don't want to take a dream in the night that you can link up in the scriptures. Yahweh shine in the air and the thousands of angels and death and vengeance and say, oh, I just had a dream. It is what it is. And you kind of go about your everyday life, man. And that set brothers on fire when they have dreams about the end world, destruction. Hey, Amos just told me last Shabbat he had a dream, man. And I was in the thing, man. Right? Kind of set me on fire. You understand? So when brothers have these visions and these dreams, right? When brothers see chariots, when we see spiritual things, when we see the rainbow, man, we love seeing the rainbow. We love seeing the Lord's creation manifest, you understand? It's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, right? I ain't going to read the whole account. I'm going to just get one part of it, right? This is 2 Kings 6 and 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. So the Lord, man, he opens the eyes. He has you to see the chariots, you understand? And this chariots round about us, even though you can't see them. This chariots right above your head. Don't just think the chariots when they on the earth, you can just see them. There are angels all around us. They taking notes. They jotting down what we doing. They bringing up the report to the Most High God. You understand? So it's angels all around about us. But it's beautiful that the Lord opened your eyes to see the chariots. You know?
Right. That's right, brother. You know? All right, next question from Shoguns FTW. I thought every one of the Israelites gets the kingdom, even though 2/3 that died. I thought you guys said they would be resurrected in the kingdom and have to bear their shame. But we kind of just went into that. They're going to be brought back in the kingdom, but they're not going to have the position of brothers who make it in the first resurrection. All right. We kind of went into that.
All right.
All right. All right. Next question. We answered this from King Shamariah. Israelites can't sin in the kingdom, right? Right. The brother Ryan went into that in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Right. No, they can't sin. Joshua Brewer, do we live 1,000-year cycles and go back to the Father, return as babies? No, we're just immortal. Right. We went into that earlier. All right. Israel 144, the finest of the heathen women will be our concubines. That's a statement. All right. The brother said that's a statement. It's not really a question. Okay. From Feed the Spirit, why does Acts 5:36 say 400 followed through this, and Acts 21:38 say 4,000? Well, those are two different accounts. All right. You had one during the days of taxing, which is through this, and you had an Egyptian or an Israelite that lived in Egypt that had another insurrection, and that happened all throughout the Roman Empire. You didn't just have one insurrection against the Roman Empire. You had many people trying to overthrow the Roman Empire at the time. And I'll go to the one in Acts real quick and read it. Right? Let me get this real quick. In Acts chapter 5 and 36. And said unto them, ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Theudas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who were slain, and all as many as obeyed him were scattered and brought to naught. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee, and the days of taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all even as many as obeyed him were dispersed. So these are two different accounts, and in Acts 21 is another account. All throughout the Roman Empire, you had these different tensions, or this really, the early stages of the Roman Empire, the late Roman Republic, you had these contentions between the Israelites and the Romans. You had Theudas, you had this brother, you had the Sicarii, not the camp, but the actual political faction trying to overthrow the Roman Empire. You had the Zealots, right? Like Simon the Zealot, that was part of Yahushua's 12. He wanted to overthrow the Roman Empire, right? So those are just different accounts. Let's brother got something else? Yeah, precept. So those are just different accounts, King. That's why in Romans chapter 13, 1 on down, the Apostle Paul said, obey the powers that be. Let me get that real quick in Romans 13. Why would he have to tell that to the Romans? How come he didn't tell that to the church of Thessalonica? How come he didn't tell that to the church of Philippi? Right? Romans chapter 13 and 1. Because all hell was breaking loose in Rome. It got to the point where Claudius actually kicked the Jews out of Rome, huh? In Acts 18 and 1 on down. So this Romans 13 and 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. the powers that be are ordained of the Most High. Again, you got to ask us. So Paul's not winging this. He's not writing this for no reason. This is specifically written to these brothers in Rome to let them know, hey, look, don't try to overthrow the Roman Empire. This is not a physical thing. You living in Rome, it's a lot of tension, a lot of riots, a lot of protests. Don't get caught up in that thing. Just serve the Most High. All right, they're kicking people out of Rome. Y'all Israelites in Rome, y'all in a dangerous spot. Just obey the powers that be. All right. Just wanted to bring that out too. Info project. Can you do a cold cut on the Book of Ruth one day? Thanks.
Most definitely. Lord willing, brothers could, hop in that. It's only 4 chapters. Lord willing, I could, what I'm saying, don't got to be too lengthy. Brothers could go into the map, understand the time, go into the time of the judges, go through the names, right? Go through the genealogy. I think that'd be a good topic to go into. It'll clear up a lot of confusion too. Because, a lot of different people that have their own understanding, but we got to go precept upon precept.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Did Moses know he was an Israelite? Yes, Moses knew he was an Israelite.
Right, I got a piece.
Con, I got one after you.
Con. Right, this is the book. And I think you mean in the question when he was born. I may be wrong.
Right.
We know Moses knew he was an Israelite. Right? It's the book of Exodus, chapter 2 and verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi and took, right, to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark and bushroots and a dabbit with slime and with pitch, and put it in the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the river's bank. So I may be wrong, but I'm not sure if you think in this account he was raised up in Egypt thinking he was an Egyptian physically. But you would have to expound on the question. But it says in the scriptures, he came to himself at 40 years old in the book of Acts. That's probably what the brother about to pull. I'm not sure. But he came to look upon his people. So way before, he even did that, he already had the spirit, right, to bethink himself and want to look well upon the Israelites because he knew he was one. But you got it, Ken.
Con, this is the book of Acts, chapter 7 and 23. And when he was 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. Right? So that's plain. Right? Remember, Moses was nursed by his mother, man. You brought that out? Did you bring that out?
Nah, I ain't touched that point.
I mean, I get it. I thought you.
No.
I kind of I leave for a second. Let me get this account. This is the book of Exodus. All right, let me get this real quick. This Exodus chapter 2 and 5. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down and washed herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. Meaning she went to get the Moses at the basket at the ark. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then said his sister, so this is what Miriam said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee?" So she kind of finessed and setting it up. Look, I got this woman that can nurse this child for you, but she's gonna bring her back to, obviously his mother. Then Slakia, and Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go," and the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, now Pharaoh's daughter don't know that this woman that's about to nurse Moses is his actual mother, but this was set up by Miriam through the spirit, right? It reads, and Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, "Take the child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages." And the woman took the child and nursed it. See that? So she got paid to nurse her own child. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, and she said, "Because I drew him out of the water." All right. So there was a time when Moses was actually with his mother, man. when his mother instilled in the fact that, hey, look, you are an Israelite, man. You know, and brought that knowledge to him. That's why Acts chapter 7 say what it say. Right? And he knew that he was Israel, man, from that time. You know. So we go on to the next.
I was gonna say real quick.
Oh, go ahead, King Salaki.
I got one quick precept. Remember how he said he saw what was happening to his brother? That was an Israelite?
Yeah.
So that's another example or precept to let you know that he knew who he was. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't have had that feeling. He wouldn't have, said what he said and did what he did.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's Exodus 2:11. Right?
Yeah,
go ahead, King.
It's like Exodus 2:11, and it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting in Hebrew one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that away. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. So he knew.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right. Our next question. All right. King Shamariah, brothers think we are in the new covenant. Right? No, we're transitioning and taking that step to being completely under the new covenant, but you're not under the new covenant until every ordinance is fulfilled, meaning the law within your inward parts. Right? So once the laws in your inward parts, then you'll completely be under that new covenant. All right? You have some precept on that?
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 25. And the wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith the Lord. They're going to be having animals chilling together, and we're going to be chilling with those animals. We're going to be chilling with the lamb. We're going to be chilling with the lion. Right? Lamb's already docile, but the point is we're going to be chilling with beasts, and we're all comfortable, right? We're not really comfortable with the lions and serpents now. They see certain beasts, and they walk the other way, right? They get real scared and nervous and shake because we're not under that. We don't have that covenant with the or the league with the stones. We don't have that covenant with the beast, and we gain that when we fully into the new covenant.
That's right. That's right. All right. So next question. Let's see. Young Strongs, can I covet my wife? Brother, you can't covet something that's already yours. It belongs to you. It's your possession. All right. I mean, you technically can, but it's not a sin. All right, because it's yours, brother. All right. The law says you can't covet your neighbor's wife. If you want to deal with your wife and you miss your wife, and you know what I'm saying, you want to use that word covet, right? Brother, you can miss and yearn for your wife, brother. Right? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know? All right. We answered that question before. Okay. Is this sincere? Is this a sincere question? Right? Is the brother being sincere?
Third question, and I don't want to be rude. I'm not trying to mean this in a rude way. Sometimes you gotta meditate on your questions first before you ask them. You gotta consider them as well. You gotta think, well, you gotta really think about it. We understand this platform is for the Q&A, questions and answers, but also to kind of meditate on your question, kind of think about it diligently first. And ask yourself if this is a super hard, serious question, or is it something light?
Yeah, and the Lord said, covet the prophesy. Right? In 1 Corinthians 14, it say when he said covet, he didn't say covet your wife. He said, covet the best spiritual gifts, which is really prophecy. All right. All right, Miss Nita. Is gambling a sin? Right? I got a precept for that.
I got one after you.
All right. Let's go to, this question can get complicated. You deal with lots, you go into a lot of stuff. All right. But I brought this out earlier dealing with masturbation. But I'll bring it out again in Romans chapter 7 and 7. All right, I'll read it again. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? God forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law. For I had not known lust except the law has said, thou shalt not covet. So you're covetous when you gambling. You got people that they said there was a commercial back in the day when a dude, he missed his son baseball game, the birthday party. He was sitting in the parking lot. He was looking at the damn watch. It's old. It's like from 2003 or 4, right? And they used to have these gambling commercials. I don't know if brothers remember that. And the brother missed out on his son's whole life, man. As he was always gambling and betting on horses. They had this movie called Lucky Number 11, came out years ago, man. And this guy, it was pretty much the same thing. He got himself so in a hole, his wife got blown away with a shotgun, right? And his son was about to get murdered by an assassin. And they kind of put him in a room and put a plastic bag around his head, and they kind of took him back to the spirit world. So that gambling, you playing with fire, man. People get shot over dice. People are in the casino right now, and they haven't left in 2 days. They don't put clocks in a casino for a reason. Because you're not going to see a clock hanging out. Okay, it's time for you to leave, right? They got people that look you. There's nobody in the casino that kind of say, "Look, you've been here for 2 hours. Just make sure you kind of slow down." Nobody's walking around doing that, man. They create those casinos in that environment, and no clocks and entire layout for you to be there forever, man. You never know what time people be leaving at damn 7 in the morning. So no, you can't be out here gambling and being in the world, man. Right? Brothers got it. I got another precept, but brothers, you got it.
It's direct 31 and 1. Watching for riches consumeth the flesh. You literally watching for riches, waiting for that money to pile up, right? Your eyes glistening, and the care thereof driveth away sleep. And to tell you prior to this chapter, direct 30 and what is it? I can't remember it, but it says, it is 15. Health and a good state of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. All right. So now you're falling short because you're not really taking heed to that. You're not committing that verse to your memory. Now, as a result, you watch for riches, and it consumeth away the flesh, and the care thereof driveth away sleep. Watching care will not let a man slumber, as a sore disease breaketh sleep.
Come on. You still got something else on that, Jordan?
One more.
Come on.
It's our 31 and 5. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. And gold hath been, this whole chapter is good, but I ain't going to read the whole chapter. Gold hath been the ruin of many, and the destruction was present. Like the brother mentioned, that movie Lucky Number 11, and that's on Netflix now, I think. He loved gold. You don't have to say you love something. Your actions show it. So it also tell you in Sirach, I believe that the 29th chapter, going into having certain covenants and suretyships, or you fall in certain suites or suits and snares because you ask for money and you get jammed up and tied up for what? All for money. That's it.
Right. And touch on something, man. That getting rich quick, man, I put a spirit on you, man. Right? Hey, the Lord is dealing with a man that works hard. He's not dealing with somebody that's damn gambling, somebody's getting money fast, somebody that's filthy rich. The Lord not getting down with that. It's Ecclesiastes 5 and 12. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet. So when you go to work all day, that could be you doing the work of the Lord, man. Anything you physically laboring in, when you finally lay down and relax, is going to be sweet. You kick your feet up, you can relax, read the scriptures, get some sleep, whatever the case may be. right? The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep, because he always want more. That's like that brother. He put it all on red, and then he got $5,000. Now he kind of itching, and everybody clapping him on. Yeah, you can do it. You got the damn woman out of nowhere rubbing his damn arms, right? The rubbing his back out of nowhere, man. Then he pick up the dice and he go for it all again. Then he get it again, right? Then he gonna have these demons on his shoulder and say, "Let's keep going. Let's keep going." Next thing you know, it's a damn crowd, man, like the movies. He's shooting until he missing everything. You understand? It said, "Will not suffer this man to sleep." Because if you could bet your bottom dollar, if somebody literally got some money at the casino or they won $100 doing a scratch off, they're gonna play again. Then they're gonna play again, and it's gonna consume them. It's gonna keep calling them. You understand? I got one more precept. This Proverbs 6 and verse 1. My son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hands with a stranger, right? And you literally can strike your hands with a stranger. You can make deals. You can gamble. You know, they got a lot of people that call loan sharks. You know, they give you money, they want it back. You come to these shiesty places, you be like, look, you shake your hands, I put it all on the Dolphins. I put it all on the Giants. I put it all on the Wizards. You understand? You kind of shake your hand. You strick your hands with a stranger. Thou art snared with the words of thy mouth. Meaning whatever you say, and you literally signed the contract with it, man. And those people, they want their money, man. If you gamble something, don't think somebody gonna say, okay, well, you know what? I know your rent's due. I know you just had a child. You can kind of kick back. No, they gonna want that money, man. You got to pay what you owe. Thou art snared with the words of thy mouth. Thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. A leading into things like that, and you can get put to death, man. Right? Say you're gonna have somebody money, and this is in a damn carnal way around the hood, man. Say you're gonna pay somebody back, and you don't pay somebody back. They can put you to death. So gambling, making deals, striking hands, all of those things is a shiesty way to make money. It's not upright, and it's not a laboring thing that the Lord has respect upon.
I got a quick precept that link with that. This is the book of Proverbs 13 and 11. Yardan, you brought that out?
Nah, I was going, but I got another one. You got it.
Right. It says, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. So the Lord not dealing, like the brother said, you don't want to work all day, but you plan all of your savings. Your checking's empty. Your savings, you have $5,000, but all you do is spend your $5,000 and your savings on scratch offs. You want the lucky ducks, you want the Powerball 7, you want the 777s, right? You spending all the money on the damn scratch offs, right? Just hoping you make it big, right? You don't want to labor, you don't want to do no applications. You just pray, and then you pray to the Most High. A lot of people, they find themselves in a hole. God, just get me out of this situation, or let me just hit the 7. Now you're calling upon the Lord. Now you Deuteronomy 6 and 16, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. You went in there to covet, and now you want the Lord to get you out that situation. You got to deal with it, man. It is what it is, right? And a lot of that stuff, you going to the casino. It's a lot of demonic spirits in the casino. You think everybody in the casino, you got cigarette smoke in the casino, smack the damn blackjack table, blowing it in your face. You got people in the back watching you, see them chips rolling, and they kind of watch you in the back. They kind of marking you. People going in there kind of checking, brother, look, that brother, he's doing hot. They send a couple texts. They waiting for you to get out. Kind of hit you in the back of the head with a pipe when you get out the casino. Snatch all your chips and cash them in. Right? You got the blackjack dealer. You got the woman flirting with you on the table. You know? Can I blow your dice? It's in the blowing the damn dice. You know? You buying everybody drinks at the casino bar. Right? A woman come with her husband. Now you drunk. You've been drinking yourself drunk. And a woman come with her husband. Now she kind of looking at you. But you got a hot hand. You don't want to leave. Your wife pregnant. Right? She's in labor, but the hand is too hot. And a lot of people, when they deal with that gambling, they got their own superstitions. And now you're breaking the first commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. See, if I sit at this seat right here, I got to sit in the same seat. If I sit in the same seat and I roll the dice with my right hand on a 45-degree angle, I know I'm going to win. Brother, no, man. Hey, my so-called grandfather go to the casino every day. This my seat. So you gotta hit it this way. Yeah, when you pull the lever, you gotta make. Bro, hey, all that stuff is rigged, man. You don't have no power over that. People get into that gambling spirit. My great grandparents got a lottery dream book, man. So whenever dream they have, they open up the lottery book and they got like a table of contents that show them what numbers to play. I'm gonna play 031. That's my name. Oh, Sister Loretta name fell, right? Oh, Leroy. Oh, that fell. My birthday fell. The Lord not dealing with that damn play. Remember everyday spirit. The 3 midday. You want to play box? You want to play straight? Jake, they want to
Fantasy guys.
yeah, man. The Lord not dealing with the Mega Millions. Yeah, brothers that see the Mega Million billboard, you driving to work, it say $265 million. You quit your job, cashing your 401k, and buy every Mega Million ticket. Then you don't get it. Now you living in your auntie house, eating SpaghettiOs. You got it, Yardan.
This First Samuel 2:6. It says, "The Lord killeth and maketh alive; He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich." So it's ultimately up to the Lord if He wants you to be rich or not. You can't put in your own hands and say, "Look, I'm gonna make myself rich." Not to say, brother, don't get a job and be a bum, but on this is more directed towards gambling, right? It's not up to you if you want to gain all this lump sum of money, right? Even all throughout the scriptures, that our forefathers gambled to get what they got, but the Lord gave it to them. The Lord gave it to them because they worked hard, or it was just the mercy of the Most High. He restored them and He gave it to them. When Job lost everything, he didn't ask his friends. He didn't ask Elihu, "Can I borrow 3 shekels?" and then go gamble it. Hey, the Lord gave it all back to him. So it's not in your hand to try to make your own self rich. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. So it's up to the Lord if He wants you to be rich or not. It even says in the book of Sirach. Let me pull it real quick. Sirach 11:21, I believe. And it reads this: "Marvel not at the sinners, marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich." And when Jake, you read that, you shouldn't have hope that you're going to get rich all of a sudden. That shouldn't be your first mouth. Oh yeah, I can be rich now. Just you gotta remain meek, and the Lord is going to provide enough of what you need. And I want to read verse 22, and then I'm done. "The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly He maketh His blessing to flourish." Jake, you get blessed in wisdom, knowledge, and mercy, jobs, whatever, and you still want money. Because a lot of Jake, you're carnal. You equate blessings with material things, such as you won a lottery and weird stuff like that. Your mind not right. You on mute.
Come on, brother. You got another precept, King? All right. All right, come. So no gambling, Israel. Right? No gambling. No damn what's that? Fortune tellers. No superstition. None of that. All right, next question. Right, bear with me. I gotta wait for it to load up. There's been a lot of good questions so far, man. Right? A few stragglers here and there, but it's been a lot of good questions. Right? And they reset it again. Right? So if we skip the question to ask the question again, sometimes it'll reset it. Right? And we'll just have to write them down next time. But from Lion of Judah, can you tell us in order what happens if we are taken into the chariots? That'll be a long breakdown, brother. But I got a precept.
I got one out to you.
All right. So this Psalms chapter 126 and 1. This is the first thing that's going to happen, right? Psalms chapter 126 and 1. It reads, when the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. So the first thing you're going to do when you get beamed up in the chariot is you're going to feel like you're in a dream. It's not going to seem real. You're not going to get beamed up and say, I know I'm here. I've been waiting on this my whole life. Look, I should have been in this thing, right? You're late. You're not going to tell an angel you late, right? The chariot coming to beam you up, you like this. Chill out. You 5, right? And then you want to keep praying to the Lord. The chariot that'll beam you up, but you want to pray to the Most High that it's a big chariot for you. It's big enough. Lord, I hope you brought a big chariot because you know I need a lot of safety. No, it's not going to seem real, man. You're going to be in that thing. You're going to be looking around. We've never seen inside a chariot. We don't know what it looked like, man. We can only speculate. We don't know how it looked. What's the layout? You know what I'm saying? How big it is, but it's going to seem like a dream. And you see that on TV. They say, am I dreaming? Pinch me, I'm dreaming. That's how it's going. We're actually going to live that, man. We're going to be looking at what the hell is going on. You know? That's the first thing you're going to do. Brother, had a precept.
Come on. It's the book of Revelation, right? Chapter 15 and verse number 2. And I saw it as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. That's talking about the firmament, you understand? Mingled with fire, because we're going to be looking down from those chariots. You're going to see that big lake of fire, that nuclear destruction. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over the mark and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh. That don't mean we physically going to have harps in our hands, you understand? That's us going to be rejoicing and praising the Lord, you understand? It says, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints, right? So we're going to be turning up. We're going to be rejoicing. We're going to be singing the song of Moses. All hell going to be breaking loose in righteousness. So like the brother said, we ain't going to be able to believe it when we finally snap into it. And we're going to all be turning up, man. And we're going to all be on one accord. You understand?
You on mute?
Salakia. I was saying immediately after that, you know, we're going to get beamed down in the wilderness, man. You know? We're not going to be in a chariot for 1,000 years and just be flying around forever, trying to see what's the move, trying to figure out what to do. The angel say, what y'all want to do? Then Jake tried to, well, you know, maybe we should do this. Then the angel, you know, they asked the Lord. No, it's all a program set up. It's a plan of action. So we're going to be in the wilderness, right? Let me get this in Ezekiel chapter 20, right? This is Ezekiel chapter 20, and I'm going to get straight to the point. Verse 34. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand and with the stretched out arm, Salaki, and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Meaning Yahweh Shai is going to be there, face to face. You're going to look at the Lord in his eyes. You got your head down. You know, you're going to go through that rejoicing, but then when you see the Lord, it's going to be kind of back to business. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the ancient wilderness, we got delivered. We sang the song of Moses, went through the Red Sea, and it was business time right after that. The laws and commandments were set out. If you disobeyed, it was lights out. If you obeyed, hey, that was well, right? So it reads, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, said the Lord. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. So you're going to be in the wilderness, right? In the wilderness, you're going to receive the hidden manna. You're going to receive the statutes and judgments. The order is going to be established. The 7 thunders are going to be explained. And whatever else Yahweh Bashmi Abushah has in store for the elect in those days is going to be put on the forefront. Certain people are going to rebel, and they're going to be kind of put out. Other men are going to remain in that thing, right? Verse 38, and I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. All right, so I just wanted to bring that out. You'll be in the wilderness. Brother, that's something else? All right, and after the wilderness, we're going to be given the green light to get the other nations and bring them back to Israel and put them in captivity. Right? We'll have to do a breakdown on that. We'll do an in-depth code cut on that, and we'll go into the sequence of events. You know, the stages leading up to the king. We may call it stage 1. Again, being up in the chairs. Then we go through all of the precepts. Then it'll do a series. Right? We could do that series 2. Right? Being in the wilderness. Part 3 of the series, putting the nations in captivity. Part 4 of the series, bringing them back to the land of Israel. Right? And they digging and then put them to work. Part 5 of the series, and we kind of just do a whole series in depth leading up to the kingdom, you know. So, next question. All right, Judah 7. Shalom, brother. Why is the tribe of Dan not a part of the 12 tribes list? The brother want to deal with it, but I can deal with it. Right. So Dan. When you look at the 12 tribe sign, you'll see Dan not on there, right? But you'll see the 2 sons of Joseph. You don't even see Joseph on the 12 tribe sign. And Joseph received the double portion. How come Joseph isn't on the 12 tribe sign? And he received the birthright. Because Joseph's name was put on Ephraim, right? But the younger son. And Manasseh was incorporated because Joseph received a double portion. That's why Ephraim and Manasseh aren't there. Are there, but Joseph, an actual son of Israel, and Dan, an actual son of Israel, they're not on there. All right, let's go to Genesis real quick. All right, we're not going to go too in depth on this, right? But we'll touch the surface and put our foot in the water. Right? This Genesis chapter 48 and 5. It reads, "And now thy 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt. Before I came unto thee into Egypt are mine, as Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine." Now Israel, his firstborn sons are Reuben and Simeon. So what he's saying is your firstborn sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, or your 2 sons, they're going to be adopted as my sons. The same way Reuben and Simeon are mine, Ephraim and Manasseh are mine. Right? So now they're incorporated and adopted to Jacob. Right? Verse 6. "And thy issue," this Genesis 48 and 6. "And thy issue, which thou begottest after them, shall be thine, and they shall be called after the names of their brethren in their inheritance." So now you'll see them on the 12 tribe side. And again, Joseph's name was put on Ephraim because Ephraim received the birthright, and Ephraim was the younger son between Ephraim and Manasseh. I'm not going to read the whole account, but Jacob put his right hand on Ephraim's head and his left hand on Manasseh's head. And Joseph said, "Not so, father," right? But Jacob kind of knew what he was doing, right? Because he blessed Ephraim and said, "Yeah, Manasseh will be great, but Ephraim will be greater now." You can read Genesis 48 all on your own. Right, so Ephraim received that blessing. Right, let me get this other precept in Numbers. I know brothers got precepts. Let me get this in Numbers chapter 1 and 32. Right, this is Numbers chapter 1 and 32. "Of the children of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim, by their generations, after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go forth to war." So it says the children of Joseph, namely of the children of Ephraim, because mainly Joseph's name was put on Ephraim. So you don't see Joseph on there because Joseph received a double portion. All right, brothers got precepts.
You bring out Ezekiel 48.
I
go to it. It's a book of Ezekiel chapter 48, verse 32. "And at the east side 4,503 gates, and 1 gate of Joseph, 1 gate of Benjamin, 1 gate of Dan." Right, so Dan gonna have the kingdom of heaven, man. right?
Right.
It's not just talking about, what tribes that you see on the physical chart are going to get it. They ain't going to get the kingdom of heaven also, right? It's just not listed in Revelations, the 7th chapter, because they're not the elect, right? They're still going to have their portion. They're still going to have their land, you understand? They're still going to have their inheritance. You got it, yard down.
No, you already got it. I was going to get the Ezekiel 48.
Con.
Oh, well, I got another one. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31. I'm bringing this up because a lot of Jake, not this brother in particular, but a lot of Jake would say that Dan is done away with or they fell short. I've heard some brothers say that they sinned and now they can't make it no more.
Right.
That's why they not mentioned. This is Genesis, like Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, said the Lord. I'm going to jump down to verse 35. So we know it's talking about Israel. Thus said the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon, and the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea, when the waves thereof roar, the Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, said the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. So Dan is indeed one of the 12 tribes of Israel. And if he's done away with, I mean, we shouldn't see the moon and the stars tonight. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be sunny tomorrow. Because if Israel's done away with, so are the ordinances of heaven.
Now this is now certain chapters, like when you read Revelation the 7th chapter. All right, let me get these real quick in Revelation chapter 7. I'll make a quick point. Right, this Revelation. Right now, Revelations. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 7. I'm gonna just read it straight through. I'm not going to, be too long with it. Revelation 7 and 5. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. Now, in Revelation 7, you're missing Ephraim and you're missing Dan. Now, I would say Joseph, but remember, Joseph's name was put on Ephraim. But Dan isn't in Revelation chapter 7. So, like Yaradan was saying, a lot of brothers, well, Dan isn't in there. Revelation 7, what's going to happen? The brother just read in Ezekiel. Then, Ariah, you put that precept in Ezekiel 48 with Dan being in it. But he's not mentioned in Revelation 7. There are certain chapters in the Bible where you'll see a tribe not being mentioned amongst all the other tribes. And Genesis 49, when you're dealing with the Genesis 49, all of the tribes are mentioned. And when you link it up with Deuteronomy 33, not all of the tribes are mentioned in Deuteronomy 33. Simeon is completely gone from the blessings in Deuteronomy 33. Does that mean the Lord isn't dealing with the Simeonites? It goes straight from Reuben to Levi in Deuteronomy 33. No, just because the Lord didn't mention Simeon doesn't mean they're done away with. Just because the Lord didn't mention Ephraim or Dan in Revelation 7 doesn't mean they're done away with. Right? When you go to Chronicles and you're dealing with the Chronicles of the tribes, you don't even see Issachar being mentioned in there. Does that mean Issachar isn't there? You go through all of the Chronicles, you're looking for Judah in the 4th chapter, you're looking for Levi, you're going through it, and you're scrolling through, like, where is Issachar? Does that mean Issachar is done away with? No. Certain tribes, as you go through Chronicles, right, you got Judah, Simeon, Reuben, I'm looking at it now, Gad, the half a tribe of Manasseh, Levi, right, Benjamin, you got Issachar in chapter 7, Benjamin, Ephraim, Naphtali, Asher, There's a tribe in Chronicles that's not being mentioned, just like in Deuteronomy chapter 33. Right? It's not Issachar, but there's tribes that's mentioned within these different chapters in the Bible, but they're all going to still be in the kingdom of heaven. All right, so we don't want brothers to look at certain chapters and when it's going through all of the tribes, you don't see Simeon in Deuteronomy 33, or you don't see Dan in Revelation 7 or Ephraim in Revelation 7. They're still going to have their respective roles in the kingdom. And in Ezekiel 48, the gate of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh are going through the gate of Joseph, and Dan is going to go through his own gate. And another point, 2nd Ezra 13 and 40 tell you that Dan came to this side of the world. Right? It says these are the 10 tribes which are carried away captives out of their own land. Dan came to this side of the world. Now, do we know what happened to Dan when he came to this side of the world? No, we can't pinpoint it. Right? That's one of the mysteries in the Bible. We can't say, well, that brother, that's the tribe of Dan. Right? The Lord says, seek not out the things that are too high for thee. We'll get all of that knowledge in the kingdom of heaven. What we do know is Dan is going to be there. They're not done away with, but exactly pinpointing who they are, we don't know who they are. And why they're not in the tribes? Because Ephraim and Manasseh were incorporated and adopted as the sons of Joseph. You know? So, what's the brother has something else?
No.
All right. All right, next question. Let's see. My family from Rocksteady at Water. My family is going to cremate my dad, even though I object. Any scripture to help me deal with this situation?
It's a few things that got to be. Oh, you got it.
Now you got it if you want. I'll jump in there. Right. So we really get my family is going to cremate my dad, even though I object. Any scriptures to help deal with this situation? I believe that came from either the Greek or the Roman Empire, man, where they was doing those things, man. That's not our customs, you understand? Let's go to the book of First Kings. It's the book of First Kings, right? Chapter 13 and verse 30. And he laid his carcass in his own grave, and they mourned over him, saying, alas, my brother. And it came to pass, after he had buried him, that he spake to his son, saying, when I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones. You understand? So literally, the Lord said, let me not quote it. Let's go to Chariot 17 and 1. So your body has to decompose and turn back to dust as it was. You understand? And the spirit is going to give up the ghost. Let's go to the book of Chariot. But the point of the matter, in the ancient world, our forefathers, they had sepulchres. Right? You had the long line of the kings. They wanted to be buried with their fathers. That's why it says in the scriptures, he slept with his fathers. Right? It's the book of Chariot, chapter 17, and verse number 1. The Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again, meaning his body decomposed and went right back to dust and ashes. Not you got sticked inside of a humongous furnace, right? And did ungodly customs, man. The Lord wasn't dealing with that. Right? Let me go to the book of Genesis, chapter 50, I believe that's 26. This is Genesis 50 and 26. So Joseph died being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. You understand? So nowhere in the accounts of the scriptures can you find out, right, that we were sticking our forefathers and foremothers, right, in burning places and sticking them in urines, man. That's like it. I got Edomite all over it. This is my grandfather. He's watching over us at the dinner table. You want to say something, King?
Yeah, quick point. At this so-called job I had, where they burn people. You know what I'm saying? These East Indians, these Edomites, at these crematory places, they'll go in and they want to see the body burn. You got the button, you press the button where you get the afterburner and the damn fire coming down. They actually get off on that. All of the family got to come in and they lift open the door and they see the body burning and they kind of clap and they kind of praise their gods, man. You know, so that's a heathen custom, you know. I want to make that quick point.
Con. Definitely a heathen custom. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 23, right? And verse number 1. And Sarah was 107 and Salakia. Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kirjath Abar, the same as Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abram stood up from before his dead and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. So he wanted a possession. He made it his priority to make sure that it was land enough for him to bury his love. You understand? And not for her to just be out in the law. You have to have a proper burial. That's why Tobit was risking his damn life to bury the Israelites, man. Right? He was literally risking his life digging graves, man. And digging a grave not going to take you 5 minutes. It's not going to take you 20 minutes, man. You're going to have to dig a whole grave. You understand? Right? Let me get that in Tobit. So why was Tobit risking his life if that wasn't important? Because Tobit, man, he was keeping the law. Right? It's the book of Tobit. So I can bear with me. Chapter 1, right? In verse, I'm going to start at, this whole thing kind of crazy. I'm going to start at 16, right? And it reads, and in the time of Ismiezer, I gave many alms to my brethren, and gave, right, my bread to the hungry, and my clothes to the naked. And if I saw any of my nation dead or cast about the walls of Nevinatha, I buried them. And if the king of Shebanezer had slain any when he was come and fled from Judea, I buried them privately. For in his wrath he killed many, but the bodies were not found when they were sought for of the king. And when one of the Nevinathites went in to complain to me, right, to the king, that I buried them, and I hid myself, understanding that I was sought for to be put to death, I withdrew myself for fear. Then all my goods were forcibly taken away, neither was there anything left me besides my wife Anna and my son Tobias. So he was risking his life burying, right, the Israelites, because he understood that that was a respected thing according to the Lord, man. Not to let the Israelites just be burnt alive, burnt to shreds. And that's what the Edomites did during the Greek Empire, man. They were burning our bodies and burning our books, man. That's the last thing you want to do is a custom that the heathens pushed. You got it.
Con, this is a precept on that. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2 and 20. Do right to the widow, judge the fatherless, give to the poor, defend the orphan, clothe the naked, heal the broken and the weak, laugh not a lame man to scorn, defend the maimed, and let the blind man come into the sight of my clearness. Keep the old and young within thy walls. These are all commandments on how to love and deal with your own people. Here to the point in verse 23. Wheresoever thou findest the dead, take them and bury them, and I will give thee first place. I will give thee the first place in my resurrection. See that? So the Lord said, wheresoever thou findest the dead, take them and bury them, and you get first place in the resurrection. Right? Hey, and those days are coming, man. And Jacob's trouble gonna be kicking off. You're gonna see bodies of your brothers hung up on trees. You're gonna see the brothers dead in the field, right? With fringes on, right? And you gotta bury those bodies, man. You gotta take them and bury them. You can't say, hey, look, hey, this man already dead, is what it is. I got stuff to do. Look, you see your brothers in the evil days to come, you see your brothers with the your saints, and they, and they out there perished and gave up the ghost. The Lord said, if you bury them, you get first place in the resurrection. And that's some mighty work to do, man. We still got work to do, even in Jacob's trouble. You still have righteous works that can be done. You still got mercy that can be received. So you're going to have brothers, you ain't going to have a shovel. You may not have that Home Depot rental equipment, right, to get them burials done, and the damn bulldozer and they claw up the ground, and you just throw them in there. You might be using your hand. Esau looking for you. You digging, you kind of throw them in there, and you keep it moving, man. Right? I just wanted to bring that out too.
Right. And a quick point to touch on with the brother bringing out is brother's gonna be tired, right? All hell gonna be breaking loose. You may not have ate in 3 days, 5 days. You still got to do that work, man. No matter how tired you are, right? And like the brother said, hey man, that's the Lord giving his saints mercy and grace in those last days to continue on, so that the Lord could bless you, man. You may not be able to go out there and labor with the Bible and teach the words of life, right? But you still could do righteous works, and during that time, man, that'll be a beautiful thing, right? You
That'd be
pass
really
wherever you're going, you buried about 7 dead bodies. Next thing you know, man, the Lord led you right to everlasting waters, man. Say endless deer park bottles, bread, you understand? And the Lord save you in times of vengeance and trouble. Then you're gonna have that brother, he kind of scared. He kind of jumping over the day. He like a damn harp on the road, man.
Right.
Just jumping over everything like a damn horse, right?
Right.
Looking at everybody, every man for himself. These were the days I read about, right? He not gonna care about nobody. He gonna get put to death, man.
Yeah.
The Lord not caring about that. You gotta have compassion even in that day, man.
Yeah, that's often what these are the days I read about. Tell brothers it is what it is. And you have brothers spitting on brothers. Hey, that's that brother with that other doctrine. Spit on him, he get put to death, and keep it moving, man. That's evil. Spitting on your brother, he in the spirit world. He got the different colors on. You know, Cat got the different colors on, and you spitting on the brother because he had the WFI shirt on, and that brother deserved it. Right? No way he could be part of the elect. He might have been a martyr, man. Right? This Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and 3. If a man beget 100 children and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he hath no burial, I say that an untimely birth is better than he. See that? So the Lord said, hey, you can have all you want, man. You better have a burial. Now, brother, you dealing with it. If they going to do it, brother, you have no power over that. There's really nothing you can do, brother. All you can do is try to, show them the scripture, say, hey, look, this is how we do it as a nation. We're the Israelites. Look, that's a heathen custom. Now, if they say, we're not dealing with that, he's going to get cremated. You can't do nothing about it, brother. You just pray to the Most High for mercy, and you kind of just keep it moving. Just know he in the spirit world, all right? That's all that matters. This flesh is gone. The Lord said, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it. In Ecclesiastes 12:7. Right? And that's the most important thing, knowing that. Even in Job chapter 3, it says the servant is free from his master, man.
Right.
They hear not the voice of the oppressor. That's what you should be really thinking about, brother. Because the flesh, we don't understand the importance of the burial, but understand the spirit too. He up there with the Most High. He don't have to deal with the trouble on the earth. There's always light and darkness, man. The Lord teaches that from Genesis. He extracted the light out of darkness. So even in, depression, or you worried about what's going on, there is light to find within that, man. You know what I'm saying? You can always look at the positive side of things. Make it plain, how they tell you, man. He in the spirit world. He'll be born back in the kingdom. You don't got to deal with Jacob's trouble. You don't have to deal with oppression. You don't have to worry about getting shot anymore. You don't have to worry about paying rent. And guess what? That's all that matters. So, first, that's something else. We can go on to the next question. All right. We're working a little bit overtime. We normally close about 2.5 hours, but we're going to work a little bit overtime to compensate, because we normally do the Q&A conference call, but we're going to spend that time just answering questions on here. All right. So there will not be a call where we do Q&A, because we're doing it right now. All right. Let's see. From Shalimah the God, are the two witnesses Moses and Elijah? All right. You want to deal with it, or I can deal with it?
I do it.
All right.
We do the Revelations 11. Right? It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, and verse number 3. And it reads, and I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. Right? So it get manyfold, understand, when you read Revelations, the 11th chapter. That's talking about the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Talking about Moses and Elijah, It's also talking about Joshua, the high priest, and Zerubbabel. You understand? And when you read on down, you can see the different attributes that the Lord shows you about these men that are described, and you can link it up with the precepts. Verse 4. These are the two olive trees. I believe you read about that in Zechariah. I believe that's the 4th chapter, right?
That's right.
Yeah, the 4th chapter about the two olive trees, right? And that's going into Zerubbabel when we read that whole chapter, right? And Joshua the high priest when you read the 3rd chapter of Zechariah. And the two candlesticks standing before God of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy. Right? That was Elijah in the time of 1 Kings, the 17th chapter. And power over the waters to turn them into blood. That's Exodus, the 7th chapter, verse 17 on down. And to smite the earth with all plagues as oft as they will. Right? Because that's what Moses did. He smit the earth with the different plagues, right? Going upon the Egyptians. Right? And when you read on down, I was going into something else, but the point of the matter is when you link up these times, we are the two great witnesses, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, right? But it also get meaningful, like I said, when you read on down. So, brothers did an in-depth breakdown on Revelation, the 11th chapter, last cold cut channel, but Esau took it down. Lord willing, we're gonna make another one through the spirit.
All right.
Good.
You got a precept y'all done? Okay, so this is the first question. After what book in the Bible does the apocrypha start? I'm starting to read the whole book in order. Oh, you got it y'all done.
So I'm gonna open up the apocrypha real quick, or for those who have the 1611 at home, you can open up to the apocrypha, and you can go to the first page. I'm doing this because I want to, show Israel. So you have a variety of different letters and books, and a lot of these, letters or books, they already belong in the so-called Old Testament, right? Such as Esther. You have Esther, and you have the additions to Esther, right? You have Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. That's considered one of the books of wisdom and poetry that will belong, somewhere perhaps between Job, Psalms, and Proverbs. You have Baruch, right? Some call it the letter of Jeremiah that will belong near or around the book of Jeremiah. What else? You have the Song of Solomon, of course, that would be it's like a Wisdom of Solomon that will belong around the books of wisdom. You got Maccabees and first Maccabees and second Maccabees. I would say that will be one of the, chronologically speaking, that will perhaps be one of the last books. Because much later after that, then you got the Gospels, if I'm not mistaken, and Red's got anything else they can add. You got Jude, that was way back then in the so-called Old Testament. And Tobit, that was later. We know that was post the book of Jonah. Because that prophecy eventually happened, where Nineveh fell. Then you have Ezra, but when you translate this to Greek, it's Esdras. Yeah, first Esdras and second Esdras. That belongs around the book of Ezra and Nehemiah. You have Bel and the Dragon.
Right.
That's around the book of Daniel. What else? Am I missing any?
No, you pretty much named it. If you get a 1611 and look it up, a lot of them books are going to be placed. There you go. I was about to ask if you show it. It actually tells you. Right? It actually tells you when you look up the 1611. And then, when you read them, they give you, actual historical context. Judith is dealing with what? Holofernes and the Babylonian Empire. Right? So that's going to be during the timeline of the prophets during that era, like Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Zephaniah, Habakkuk. Those are contemporaries of during the time of Judith. Then when you're dealing with editions of Daniel, then you know that that's during the time of Daniel. Right? You're dealing with Esther, that's right after the book of Esther. Right? You're dealing with Esdras. When you're going into how it was written before, Ezra and Nehemiah originally was one book. And you had first Esdras, second Esdras, third Esdras, and fourth Esdras. Right? But now the way it's written, you have Ezra and Nehemiah, first and second Esdras. Back Samuel, first Samuel used to be called First Kings. And second Samuel was Second Kings. And what you got, First Kings was originally Third Kings, and Second King was Fourth Kings. But the way, you know, how it was published throughout time, it kind of changed. I believe in the 1611, if you go to First Samuel, it may say formerly known as the Book of First Kings. Right? Is that what it say, Yaradan, in the 1611? The first Samuel. It should say, if I'm not mistaken, formerly known or commonly known as First Kings for First Samuel.
The Levite having two wives.
No, just on the title, like on the, you know, before when they introduced the book.
Oh, the first book of Samuel, otherwise called the first book of the Kings.
See that? The first book of Samuel, otherwise called the first book of the Kings. So a lot of these books, how it was translated, or how the books were put together throughout time changed, right? The order may have changed, you understand, and you may have had certain books like Judith right after this book, but that's why the apocrypha is written, you know, through the spirit and power of the Lord, to have all these hidden books that were once taken out, now revealed to us now, you know.
I got another thing. Even the Roman Catholic and the Greek Catholic, though in their Bibles they have the Maccabees, they have everything in they have all the whole apocrypha, right? But they don't read it. Neither do they know what it's talking about. And this is Rose Book of Bible Charts, Maps, and Timelines. It's the cover.
That's a good book right there. That's for biblical scholars. Don't touch that unless you're a biblical scholar, right? You can't get that. You can't just get that book if you just want to read the book of Psalms all day. This is for those books that Yardan is pulling out. That's for biblical scholars, right?
And this one is more, again, you know, not to say the Roman Catholic Church has the truth. We're not saying that at all. But we understand that in the past, even in those catacombs, those scholars, Esau, they know what's real, right? They know the truth. You know, they understand, you know, the apocrypha, not the level 1 Edomites that you see walking down the street, you know, making a TikTok and walking a dog playing Fortnite, but more so those top Edomite scholars. They study these things for a living, and the Most High put it in their spirit to write and document these things so that Israel may believe and, you know, have further proof that we're Israelites, and to also substantiate the Bible, further substantiate and prove that the Bible is real and that it's valid.
That's right. That's right. All right. Next question. Young Brown 757. Where do we gather the other nations from after the second death? Well, you're going to gather from their respective lands, right? You know the date. Let me get this in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and 9. It reads, "The thing that hath been is that it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." So what happened during the days of Joshua, right? They did a military campaign, and they marched through the land, and they destroyed cities, man, and destroyed kingdoms, and slew mighty men. Those days are coming back on the earth. We're not, the slaves aren't just going to walk when we in the kingdom of heaven. We're there, and it's going to be like the damn Noah's Ark in the movies, where all of them just flow to us like the animals. They come 2 by 2. Moabites come by 2 by 2. Ammonites come 2 by 2. The Edomites come 2 by 2. That's not how it's going to be. We have to go get them, man. We're going to be traveling around the world. If you never, a lot of jakes, I want to travel around the world, you'll say that. That's on my bucket list. Hey, guess what? If you're part of the elect, you're going to experience it like no other, man. But the only difference is you're not going to be in a hot air balloon and drinking martinis somewhere in Spain, man. This traveling around the world that's going to happen is going to be a violent expedition. And we're going to be traveling. We're going to go to the land of hand. We're going to have to, it's no telling how long it's going to take. Then we're going to have to travel to Europe. They're going to have to travel to Asia. They're going to have to travel to Australia. We're going to have to beat down these other nations, man. You know, it's going to be 144,000. The Lord may send certain men over here. There are certain men over here. Then look, you brothers, you going over here, and then you're going to have to be like Joshua and destroying those different cities, man. I got a precept real quick. Let me get this quick precept. Micah. Let's go to Micah chapter 5. All right. It's the book of Micah, chapter 5 and verse 10. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Micah 5 and 7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as the dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. Meaning, we're not waiting on the nations to tell us what to do in those days. We calling the shots, right? Through the Lord. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of the sheep. Who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. So the Lord said, we're going to go on a military campaign and destroy all these other nations. Right? One more real quick. Micah 4 and 13. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thy horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass. And thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto Yahweh, by Shemawashah of the whole earth. Right? You see that? So we're going to travel and destroy these nations and gather the spoils thereof. You know?
Come. And they're going to be hiding in them underground bunkers, a lot of them, you understand?
Yep.
Because they're going to so-called escape, right? The bombs dropping, you understand? So that doesn't mean that they escape, they okay, they kind of flee, everything was okay. We're gonna have to hunt them, man. Yep. And I always say through the spirit, if Esau got damn nuclear goggles and he got night ray, he got goggles, he can look in the damn river and see a heat ray. What you think we gonna have, man? We're gonna have spiritual powers, man. We're not gonna the Lord is not gonna give us a spy kit. You know, you get the goggles, you get this, you get that. No, we're gonna be mighty men, man. And Esau may be under the ground. You know, they got government, they raid houses and stuff like that, be people hiding under the ground. In the walls and stuff like that. They take out their military stuff, their goggles, they see the heat ray, and then they get them. They knock down the walls and they grab them up. We're gonna have spiritual powers. There's no telling on the in-depth breakdown what that's even gonna be. But none of those heathens gonna escape. No matter if they 12,000 feet down in the ground, 12,000 feet in the sky, in a damn cliff somewhere, no matter where they are, hey, the Lord is going to put it in our spirits to find them and hunt them. You got a yard down, but I want to get this precept too.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
It say, this is Isaiah chapter 2, right? And verse number 19. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth. That's talking about the underground bunkers. That's not talking about literally they're going to literally be in caves. They're going to be in caves probably too, but on a deeper level, that's talking about the chief places that you can't find in the earth. They're going to go into these holes and these caves and the clefts of the rocks. It says, into the caves of the earth for the fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty when he arise and shake terribly the earth. And, Salakia, in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which he hath made one for himself to worship, to the moles, to the bats, to go into the cleft of the rock, into the tops of the rag rocks, for fear of the Lord, for the glory, Salakia, for the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. Cease ye from man whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be counted thereof. So the Lord said, plant upon tables, these different nations, they're going to be hiding. That's why the Lord said in Jeremiah, we're going to have to hunt them, man. Right now, it's fishing season. But the Lord going to put out the decree, right, where it's going to be hunting season, man. This Jeremiah 17 and 17. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord. And we the fishers on the spiritual level, man. We fishing the men, right? We fishing the women of the Lord. We fishing the kids. We bringing them back home and we bringing them to the fold. And after I will send for many hunters. Now, what do hunters do? They have to search out, right? They have to lay low, right? And they have to hunt, man. The same way we're gonna be on the chief places of this earth, and we're gonna be hunting down the heathens. And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill out of the holes of the rocks. And that's all hip talk from the uttermost parts of this earth.
God, I got a precept on that. It's the book of Amos, chapter 9. Salaki. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 1. I saw the Lord standing. Bear with me. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. Though they dig into hell, though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and it shall bite them. See that? So the Most High say, ain't nowhere you could go, man. They're gonna be in the bottom of the sea, right? These devils, there's no telling what they got, man. You're looking up places to live online. It's not going to show up where Esau's living in the bottom of the sea. That's not going to be on apartments.com or houses for sale in my area. You think you're going to see the damn illuministic, damn military bases underwater? No, you're not going to see that. But we're going to have to kind of dive down there, right? And kind of break open the damn thing. And they're going to see the Israelites in their glory, rounding them up. And we're going to make sure they don't drown. We're going to bring them up, throw them on the shore and dry land. We're going to put our foot on their neck, right? Then we're going to go, like the brother said, we're going to go to these mountains. And it's not like we're going to need the code. We don't have the damn code. Press the buttons. And we're going to call the locksmith. And the locksmith come around and pull up in the van 2 hours late. And he kind of do the wire. And we wait and we on our phone. No, man. We're going to break open that damn door, man. We're going to spin that little joint open, crack it open, and it's going to be a bloody scene. They're going to be on the top of Mount Everest. We're going to leap up on Mount Everest, right? We're not going to climb. We're not going to put on winter coats. We're going to leap up on Mount Everest and kind of take them down. You know? It's going to be bad out here, man. The Lord said, though they got these little satellite space stations in the firmament, high up in the firmament. Guess what? We're going to leap up there. We're going to, however the Most High is going to do it. He may have a brother on top of a chariot kind of doing this, and the chariot kind of flying like this, and the brother like this on a chariot. Then the brother hop up, and he lands on top of the damn thing and open it up and throw them and put the chains on them. And hey, man, like I said, if you want to travel around the world and you want to be adventurous, that's going to be the time to do so. You know?
Can brothers hear me?
God.
Do I sound muffled?
Nah, you cool. It's a slight.
I was gonna say in Revelation 6 and 16, it say it said to the mountains, or it's like a 15, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, like the brothers going into their secret layers and bunkers. Verse 16, and said to the mountains said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? All right, and so going to some deep underground military bunkers, things like that. It can only do so much. So I can fix this. You got it.
Con, I got for you, sir.
Go ahead, King.
Come. Real fast. This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, and verse 9. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. That's plain, man. Right? So when just to touch on what the brother was going into earlier, brothers leaping up, man. We're not gonna need ladders in that day. We're not gonna sit there, we're not gonna call for help. We're not gonna need bungee cords. We're not gonna need none of these things, man. Because the servants of the Lord are gonna have spiritual powers, man. And you gotta believe that. You gotta really believe, right? Hey, the Lord not gonna give you no damn strap. This is not no carnal warfare, man. This is the spirit, man. The Lord gonna have you to be like David in that day. You're gonna be like an angel with the Lord, man. You're not gonna be able to fall, right? They might try to thrust you through, but ain't nothing gonna happen to you. You're gonna be on fire, you understand? Right? You're gonna be zealous, you're gonna be doing the works of old. And the Lord said, you're gonna deal with them according to his anger, man. And if you know anything about the scriptures from Genesis to Revelations, that's all you read about is the Lord's fury, man. The Lord's vengeance, right? Or hell breaking loose, man. When you go through the in between the lines in the spirit, you read hidden things in Genesis, right? Say we should paraphrasing, we should damn own their gates, right? In Genesis, paraphrasing, right? You understand? That's all the way from old, right? It already says in a blessing that we will rule over Esau, man. Right? All the way till you get to Revelation, you understand? And going into them literally being our slaves in the 13th chapter. So all throughout the scriptures in the Bible, you can read about these things in these accounts, right? It says what? I'm gonna start at 7 real fast. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. Just like David did, man. David was leaping over walls. And we always say this wasn't no small wall, man.
Right.
This is not the Olympics where they get the little skinny stick and then they do the little jump over the wall, man.
Right.
No, he's really running and he's jumping, man. And this wasn't even in the day of vengeance and David having spiritual powers, man. This is just the Lord being with David during that time and him being athletic and at the top of his game as an Israelite. How much more in that day, man? It says what? And they shall march every one on his way. They shall not break their ranks, right? So we're not going, everything will be in order. You understand why we moving and how we moving and how we're going to set up. You even have birds on a physical level, man. They fly in damn triangles and things like that. You have certain lions, they have certain one of them lead the pack, and then they all kind of have behind. You got wolves. They got the strongest one in the front and in the back, you understand? So even these animals that have military warfare and how they moving and how they marching, how much us in that day? This is not Esau's army. This is not Moab's army to kind of do the little marching. This is not the Russian army, man. We're going to have everything in order, right? Just like we did in the ancient world when it was literally Salaki. We had on the east, the west, the north, and the south. And we were carrying, right, the godly things, man, through the spirit. So even from the days of old, we're going to come back into that. We're not going to break our ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his own path. And when they fall upon the sword, they should not be wounded. So nothing's going to be able to happen to us in that day. You got it.
That's right. That's right, man. Right? We believe that through faith.
Right.
Jude 7781. But women also receive spiritual powers. Right? Now, let me get this. I got a quick precept on that. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 34 and 31. Right? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 34 and 31. Engage the flock of my pasture. It's like engage my flock. The flock of my pasture are men, and I am your God, said the Lord God. So the men that we're reading about going out executing the judgment are men, right? These are the men of the Lord, the 144,000, right? That are going out, binding up the nations, putting them in chains, leaping over walls, digging into these underground military bases, rounding them up, throwing them in these prisons, pursuing to Isaiah 24:21 on down. The flock of my pasture, men, our women are going to have spiritual bodies, glorified bodies, right? But when it comes to using that spiritual power, or you're having that power to judgment on the nations, that's not going to be given to the woman. That's not saying the woman ain't going to be nothing. It's still going to be exalted, man. You know, it's still going to be in order, but they're going to have glorified bodies. They're not going to have pain. They're not going to have labor, a pain and labor anymore. All that stuff is old and done away with, man. You know, but in terms of taking the other nations down with that spiritual power, you're not gonna be fighting hand in hand. You see Eve next to you, a damn hair. She kind of you slice and then she duck and she thrust through, and then y'all keep marching. Right? No, Eve is going to be kind of doing a thing, not like the ancient times. The laws are still going to be enforced, and that's part of the order. Right? The Lord said every man from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go to war. And Numbers chapter 1, 18 on down. Right? So the men are sent to war. The women don't go to war. You know? All right, so you got something else, King, on that? All right, Nuff Mendez. Quick question. Once all prophecies happen on this earth, is Yahweh Shai going to come to destroy Babylon with fire and brimstone?
I mean,
you want to deal with it? I can deal with it.
Oh man, I got some precepts too, but on this earth, right? Let me go to the book of Psalms. That's the part that's throwing me off. I'm not sure what they mean by this earth, right? Let me go to the book of Psalms. Right, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 90 and verse 2, and it reads, "Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hast formed the earth and the world." You understand? So there's an earth and there's a world. So if you mean physically, right? Quick question: once all the prophecies have happened on this earth, is Yahushua going to come destroy Babylon with fire? So the Lord's coming to destroy Babylon. That's the first pit stop. You understand? Let me go to Revelations, the 18th chapter. This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse number 9. And the kings of the earth, right? So all these different kings of the earth, because America's a merchant city. You understand? Just like Tyre and Zidon was in the ancient world. It says what? And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication live deliciously with her, shall bewail her. So there's still going to be nations on this earth, you understand, while Babylon is going down, right? So they're going to wail her because she's a merchant city, and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, right? So these different nations from afar off, they're going to see the smoke of Babylon's burning, right? And the chief place literally is going to be burnt with fire, man. It's going to be, that's the first pit stop. It says what? Sounding afar off for the fear of the torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgment has come. That's what these different nations are going to be saying afar off. And when you go to the book of Isaiah, the 24th chapter, the Lord is going to destroy all these nations, you understand, but it's going to be in order. It's not going to be at a snap of a finger. It's going to be order, Babylon gets destroyed. This is Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 1. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, right? So all of the earth is going to suffer that fire, you understand, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. So the Lord's going to destroy the whole earth, you understand, via nuclear destruction and the chariots. But Babylon's going to be hit first. We know that to be true because these different nations are literally going to be seeing it afar off. Jump into verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away, and the world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. You understand? So the whole earth's defiled, and the Lord's going to have to, destroy the whole earth, man. Right? Let me get the book of Song of Solomon. Right? It's the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 8. The voice of my beloved, behold, he cometh leaping upon the mountains. The voice of the beloved is talking about Yahushua. These mountains are these different kingdoms. He's going to come leaping upon these mountains, destroying these different kingdoms. He's going to destroy Babylon. You understand? He's going to destroy Europe. He's going to destroy England. He's going to destroy all of these different kingdoms. It says, the voice of my beloved, behold, he cometh leaping upon the mountains and skipping upon the hills. My beloved is like a roe, right, like a deer, or a young hart, Behold, he standeth behind our wall. He looketh forth at the window. He showeth himself through the lacing. So Yahushua is going to come and destroy all of these different kingdoms, right? But he's going to destroy Babylon too. You understand? Let me read it again. Is Yahushua going to come to destroy Babylon with fire and brimstone? Right. So when you read Revelations, let's go to Revelation real fast. 17. It's Revelation 17, right? And I'm going to start at 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, right? The European Union and the rest of these nations during the Valley of Jehoshaphat. They're going to make war with the Lamb, Yahushua, in the air during the battle of the Armageddon. And the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings. And they are with him are called chosen and faithful. And he saith unto them, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples, multitudes, and nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Right? So the European Union, those horns, they're going to hate the whore. Right? And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right? That's plain, man. So these different nations, they're going to all come and destroy Babylon the Great. But in the midst of that, the Lord is going to do that also. You understand? With fire and vengeance from via the chariots. Right? You read about that in Nahum, the 2nd chapter, Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, 21, Nahum chapter 2, verse 3 on down, and various other precepts. You guys.
That's right. Hey, you made it plain. Brothers made it plain. All right. I want nothing to add to it. All right. Baruch the Jew. If I use the word Jesus, would I be condemned? You want to deal with that, Yardan, or I can deal with it? I can't hear you, King.
God. Even in the book of Acts, the 2nd chapter, you had Israelites scattered all abroad, right, in different nations, right? And some of them they prayed in their native tongue, right? Not everybody knew Hebrew. There's a lot of people that just, they got lost. They were foreign Israelites. They didn't really know too much, but they knew that they had to keep the law, statutes, commandments, which is why that beautiful miracle happened in the book of Acts, the 2nd chapter. I say that to say, I wouldn't say you'll be condemned, but if you know the truth, if you know his true name, then call him Yahushua. That's his name. Right now, we understand there's certain circumstances. For example, when we out there on the highways and byways to relate and to pull Jake in using wisdom and subtlety, we might have to use the Jesus, because not everybody's going to know what Yahushua is. And sure, we can break it down in the midst of that, but even that can be too much for Jake, believe it or not.
Right.
We had Eve last week said, look, bring out 2 commandments, because I know it's going to be too much for me. It's too much to consume. So sometimes, you don't want to drown Jake. You can drown Jake by simply saying, hey, that's not his real name. It's Yahushua. But that should be, his wisdom and discernment and knowing when to say it and when not to say it. All right.
Yeah, and
now, of course, real quick, and when you pray, you should definitely say Yahushua. You should definitely say Yahushua. When you're amongst your brothers, you should say Yahushua. Right? Now, when you're dealing with people in the world and they just don't know, whatever that circumstance or case may be, you might have to say Jesus, because for that particular situation, you don't want to be over righteous. You got it.
Yeah, quick precept, Psalms 22 and 22. I will declare thy name unto my brethren in the midst of the congregation while I praise thee. So sometimes, you're teaching for so-called educational purposes, we have to say the name Jesus. Brothers don't know who Yahushua is, so we'll have to say it. Right? Now, when you get built up in the faith, the Lord said in Romans chapter 14 and 5, let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Right? One man may esteem the name Yahushua above the name Jesus. Other brothers may say, well, Jesus, Yahushua, call him Yeshua, I call him what I want to call him. Right? Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. As you increase in faith and come into this thing, right, then the Spirit is going to guide you to what the name of the Lord is. Right? Man's goings are the Lord. So if the Most High is going to guide you to the doctrine that he wants you to be set in. And if he got you somewhere where y'all call it upon Jesus, it's up to the Most High to have mercy on who he will have mercy on. Just like he may have a brother call upon the name of Yahweh Shai, he may not make it, right? So it's up to the mercy of the Most High. But, here in WF5, we firmly believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, those names through faith, and understand that when we teach and when we pray and we're repenting, and our Savior is Yahweh Shai. Now we're going to tell the brother the Most High is going to kill you utterly. If you sincerely believe and persuade in your mind that Jesus is his name, we'll tell you, brother, the name of the Lord, but we can't change, we can only do so much, We're going to put that out there.
That's what.
Yeah, so we can move on. Yes, some of those y'all done. All right, we're gonna get a few more, and we're gonna wind down. All right. Next question. Dang, I'm still scrolling fast when he's dealing with casino. Be so many questions, man. And then if we didn't get to your question tonight, hey, DM us, man. Right, hit up the Watching for Israel Instagram. Hit up, Araya, hit up Yaradan, hit up myself, and we're gonna, knock these out, man. All right, our job is to serve. Okay, trying to find the next question. Right, bear with me. All right, let's go on to the next question. Okay, from name. Is Joshua's name in English rather Jesus? Someone said that was a common Hebrew name, right? I wasn't able to put the question up. But Jesus is the Greek way of saying Joshua. The brother got all praises. All praise to the Most High. Right. So let me go back and I have to find this precept. I'm gonna answer that one. We're not dealing with this question right here. All right, from brother Ken Utahs. Right, we're not dealing with that. All right, we're not dealing with foolish questions. All right, we need a lot of scoffers out here. All right, TB. Can a woman congregate on her monthly cycle, or was that only a restriction when the temple was standing? All right, let's go to the book of Leviticus. All right, let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 15.
Good question.
All right, let's go. Okay, yeah, that's a common question. All right, so this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, and I'll start at, let's see where I want to start. Let's see, I'll start at 19. I'll start at 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. And everything that she lieth upon, bear with me, Salakia, everything that she lieth upon and her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. Right? So, if a woman's unclean, her best bet is to not really come around the congregation, because everything would be unclean. All right? That would be a wise thing to do, and that would be showing love to your brother. You're walking around, you're sitting on all the chairs, touching everybody's stuff, you're rubbing, you just want to wait till you clean, and then I will come around, So let's brother has something else. They want to defile everything. Okay, are we no longer under the curses of Deuteronomy 28 because our 400-year sentence ended in 2019? Your brother want to deal with that?
I deal with it.
Con.
Right. Let's go to the book, right, of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. And when it says forever, that's a long dispensation of time, because we're not going to be cursed in the kingdom. But as of right now, we still cursed. You still going to have Jake killing one another, still have evil eyes, you understand, still violence. Our women still getting kidnapped. We still gang banging. We still smoking weed and partying and being a byword of the society and a proverb, man. And that's going to always be until we wake back up and the Lord deliver us and put the laws in our inward parts. Right, let me get the book of Revelation, chapter 22. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 22, and verse number 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. And he shewed me a pure river of water, right, of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Yahweh and of the Lamb. And that's talking about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there a tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations. Right? And it says what? And there shall be no more curse. So in the kingdom of heaven, you understand, when we get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, we eat of the tree of life, meaning we'll be immortal, we'll have the laws in our inward parts. That's when the Lord said in Revelation, right, 22 and 3, and there shall be no more curse. So you're not going to have to worry about Jake mugging you in the kingdom of heaven, sizing you up, robbing you, you understand? Beating you up and jumping you, and looking you up and down to see what clothing you have, you know, who's your woman, right? What set you from, what hood you from, all of that's folly, man. That's going to be done away, you understand? There should be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him, right? So it's not going to be no more curse in the kingdom of heaven. Now that whole 400-year thing, and you know, that's not what that's talking about, right? Let's go to the book of Acts chapter 7. It's the book of Acts chapter 7 and verse 6. And Yahweh spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land. It's talking about Egypt, right? A lot of people, they take this, they equate it to America just because it says 400 years, you understand? Not everything in every context is talking about America. Everything is not talking about America. Right? You got to keep that in context. You can't stretch every time a prophet was prophesied and equate it to the so-called white man or America, or you're going to get jammed up. There'll be no other captivities or anything wouldn't make sense in its proper context. And then Acts, the 7th chapter, is going into literally Stephen speaking in the spirit at accounts of our forefathers. And this is way before the American captivity. And it says what? And Yahweh spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil 400 years. And that literally came to pass from Genesis when you proceed into Exodus. You understand? And when you go to Exodus, the 12th chapter, right? It's Exodus chapter 12, right? And verse, I'm going to start at 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. So when Acts it says 400 years, right? But in Exodus it says 430 years, you understand? But that's literally what that's going into, that 400-year thing that I was going into. But that's not talking about America, and just because 400 years are up from slavery or whatever the case may be, that the curses are lifted, and Yahweh immediately is about to come at any second. We still have the famine of the word. You understand? We still have the death of the saints. We still have the 5th seal, the 6th seal, the 7th seal, and the trumpets.
That's right. That's right. So, you know, the Lord said that even in Deuteronomy chapter 30 and 7, that all these curses are going to be upon our enemies, right? So you'll know when you're not under the curses anymore, right? Anytime you turn on the news and you see a brother dead, killed by his own brother, you're still under the curses. You don't get hired from that job, Esau get that job, you under the curses. You paying rent, next time your rent come up, guess what? You under the curses, right? You got to pay that bill, you buying and selling, read them curses and blessings, and then you'll see, examine your life and your people's life, and that shouldn't be hard to answer. You'll be able to answer that real quick. Get pulled over by the so-called white man, right? Lord forbid, and then we'll find out if we're still under the curses or not, right? Let's see. Sandy Brim. What does it mean when the Lord said, "In my Father's house there are many mansions"? Break that down. Break that down for me, please.
I got it.
All right, Yardan, you got it.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 7. He that hath an ear, let him hear what saith, so like what the Spirit saith unto the churches, to him that overcometh, will I give to eat the tree of life, which is in the paradise. It's like which is in the midst of paradise of God. That's not what I wanted. The hidden manna. I'm looking right over it. Oh, I see. This Revelation 2 and 17. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. Right. So a lot of these parables, it's black and white. We can get it for the most part. And then other certain sayings that Yahweh said, it's still, Jake still try to interpret it through the Spirit and figure out what it's going into. Certain brothers that say this Bible is the house, right? The scriptures is the house, and each chapter and or book is a door. So in my Father's house there are many mansions, right? And that door opens up to a huge mansion. And what you usually find in a mansion is, beautiful things, artifacts. There's always something looking nice. And when you open up these books and you read these chapters, each one's a little different, and you find something real beautiful and magnificent. So I really got to say to that. You got any precepts? You got anything? You on mute.
Yeah, I mean, when it says in my Father's house are many mansions, that could be manifold. Going into the accounts in the scriptures. I've heard brothers that's going into the other planets. There's no other planets, right, outside of Earth. You understand Earth, and you have the firmament and the stars. So it's dealing with the treasures of the kingdom of heaven and the knowledge of the Most High, right? And the brother, you can go to Song of Solomon chapter 1. The king had brought me into his chambers. Yardan went into a few precepts. So that's what that's going into. All right. Next question. The treasures of the kingdom. That's what Yahweh said in that chapter. I go to prepare a place for you. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not, I would not have told you, paraphrasing. All right. From Queen, I need some guidance from women in here. I'm just learning this and I don't know what to do. All right. Well, sister, you if you have a specific question, you can answer it, or you have righteous sisters in the chat, as well as on social media. You can reach out to those sisters or get in contact with those sisters, or if you have specific questions, we can always answer them as well. But if you have questions pertaining to you want to just talk to women, you got to make that discernment to see what sister you're getting counsel from, and reach out, and most are willing, they can get back to you. If you message us, we can direct you to righteous sisters, who we know in the faith, and they can help you out with specific questions or topics or things of that nature as well. Because everybody's not sincere on the comment board. You got people that just log in and they counsel for their own benefit, right? You're asking, well, do I leave my husband? Yeah, nigga, yeah, leave your husband, right? And that's because she's on her 5th husband. Yeah, leave him. Get the next one. It's a lot better. So you got to kind of be careful when you're getting counsel from too, man. As soon as Sirach chapter 37. All right. All right. Okay, Mary Israel, when we said the women of the Lord aren't going with the men of the Lord, she said, didn't Deborah go to war with Barak and Judges? Deborah went with Barak, but Deborah wasn't slaying and doing, Deborah wasn't out there slicing people's head off. Right? Let's get the account. All right. Deborah wasn't leaping over walls, or doing nothing like that. I just want to get that quick account. And Judges chapter 4. Right? This Judges chapter 4, and I'll start at 8. And Barak said to her, if thou will go with me, then I will go. But if thou will not go with me, then I will not go. And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor, for the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. Right? But she wasn't, when you read this account, she wasn't out there killing people. Right? She was there to stir up the faith of Barak because the Lord was dealing with Deborah at the time. Right? And you had another woman that actually took a nail, and the sister named
Jael.
Yeah, Jael. She took the nail and a hammer and kind of just pierced his temple, man. So Deborah didn't even do all that, She was there for support and encouragement. But she wasn't, slaying men. Did the brother want to deal with that as well?
That's pretty plain.
Yeah.
All right. Can y'all break down Luke chapter 7 and 25? Luke chapter 7, 25. The brother want to deal with it? Yeah, I can deal with it.
I mean, I deal with it.
All right.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 7, verse 25, and it reads, but what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Right? Behold, they which are in glorious apparel and live deliciously are in king's courts. So that's talking about John the Baptist, you understand? Right? And that's literally Yahushua saying that this is not, he's not a sweet man, you understand?
Right.
He's not somebody that's them clothed in purple, fair and sumptuously and got all ribbons on. He's a man, you understand? You read about that in Matthew, I believe that's the 3rd chapter, 3 and 4. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 4, right? And it says what? And the same John had his raiment of camel's hair, right? He didn't have the silk, he didn't have all the damn ephod, he didn't have all of that, you understand? He had the camel's hair, and he had a leathern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and wild honey, right? So he kind of got it like, you got to get it how you live, man. He had camel's hair on. He would look like a rough man. He would look what they would say rough, you understand? Somebody may look at him and think he was homeless, man. He didn't have all of those apparels that those men wore. That's what Yahushua was going into. Reading on from verse 25. But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? What you think, John the Baptist is sweet or something? Or he rich and living fair and sumptuously like a king? Behold, they which are in glorious apparel, meaning, how they dress, and live deliciously, are in king's courts. John the Baptist wasn't in king's courts. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yeah, I say unto you, and much more than a prophet. So he was much more than a prophet, you understand? Right? He was literally Elijah back on the earth. He's the prophet of prophets, right? This is he whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, who shall prepare thy way in the wilderness, right? And that's Malachi, the 3rd chapter, right? And literally in Isaiah also. So that's really all that's going into. Ain't really nothing too deep. Going into John the Baptist.
Right. See that? So that's plain, right? But he that is least in the kingdom of God is greater than he. I want to touch on that point too, because if you believe in Yahushua, no matter what you do, Yahushua's ministry was greater than John the Baptist's ministry. That's all it's saying. Right? So if you believe in Yahushua, your lot in the kingdom of heaven will be greater than the brother who just followed John the Baptist. All right, I'm going to touch on that point too. But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Wamalak Yahushai. Most our willing brothers were edified. We know that we weren't able to get to everybody's question. Again, if we didn't get to your question, message us on Instagram, right? Message us on Instagram, on the Watching for Israel main page. Hit me up, hit Araya up, hit Yaradon up, and we'll tackle all those questions we wasn't able to get to. Some brothers, we may even do cold cuts on it, right? Kind of go into those topics in depth, or do a series of cold cuts, or we may call it answers from questions from Instagram. We'll kind of blot your name out and kind of just go through the questions so everybody can get the edification. All right. Quick announcements. The new moon is June 9th at sundown. There's a solar eclipse on the 10th, right? Which is the right on the new moon. You got the new moon, you're gonna have like an eclipse go on, which is a sign of major destruction. Another quick announcement. Brothers was asking about camp locations in New York. Just hit us up if you asking about camp locations. And I saw about Houston. I wrote it down. Bay Area. Somebody asked about Nashville. Just hit us up and we'll get back to you and link you up with brothers that are like-minded through the spirit. You know, brothers got anything else they want to bring out?
Con, they got some. Con, you got it, Yardon.
I was gonna say, Israel, you better stay strong. And I speak to myself as well. A lot of things we say, you know, is for exhortation. We get on you. But all the things that we say not only to you, but to ourselves and our households as well.
I got precept after you. If a brother got it.
Right. It's the book of Revelation 3 and verse 3. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come at thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So you got to always be watching, man. You understand? The Lord can take your spirit any moment. He could bug you out, to make you a reprobate. You could fall out this truth. You understand? Anything can happen to you. We living close to the end, right? For all hell to be breaking loose, and you to give up in this truth, man. You have to continue to keep on going as much as you can. Be as strong as you can in the spirit. You know, read as much as you can, pray as much as you can, fast as much as you can, and most importantly, right, keep the commandments, man. Right? Don't be sitting there double-minded or being one way in the light, but in the dark, you're a totally different person. Continue to maintain your integrity like Job did, man. No matter what you're going through, and trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That's right. And I get the classic in Revelation chapter 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So whatever you put out in these last days, that's what you're going to get. You only got one chance to push this truth. Ain't no woulda, shoulda, coulda when Jacob's trouble kick off. This is it, man. Right? We stepping in overdrive mode. We on fire. We being diligent. All hell could break loose any given second, and every man is going to be judged according to his work. Right? But with that, we're going to close up. There will be no conference call Q&A tonight because we went a little bit extra dealing with this Q&A that we're dealing with tonight. Right? So stay in tune for the Monday Night Fire. Everybody should be subscribed to the Cold Cuts channel, getting that channel built up again in the spirit so the edification can go out. With that, Brother Naquam.
Brother Right.
Brother Yardan.
Right? Another Monday Night Fire. Giving our honor and glory and praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Kwam Yashala. Shalom.